All right, it's going live. It says we're live, Coach.
All right.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the UGA Sports Live Watch-Along Party. My name is Radi Nabulsi. I'm joined by Jim Donnan, former head coach at the University of Georgia, Hall of Famer. He won't say it, but I'll tell you, he is a Hall of Fame coach, the only coach to have led the NCAA in both rushing offense and passing offense. So the guy knows his stuff backwards and forwards. He's here. We would like you to share this if you would. We'd really appreciate it. It'd be nice if you share it with your friends. Let them know. If you're watching TV and TV seems a little bit ahead of us, put it on pause for about 10, 15, 20 seconds, and then we should be synced up. And then you can quiet out these announcers, and you don't have to listen to them. Before we get started, big shout out to our friends at Southeastern Mortgage. Great guys that take care of us. And, of course, our friends over at Leon Farmer III, Kathleen over there, who gave us all the wonderful seltzers and beers. Thank you to them for sponsoring our show. And, Coach, I want to get right to it. It's a rainy, nasty day over in the stadium. We're here where it's dry. We're smarter.
Yeah, well, I think it's just last week was such a tough game for all of us. And I just feel like that even though the weather is a little bit, really a lot of a problem for everybody involved, it's just a thing you got to, with this open date coming up and everything, we got to get this bad taste out of our mouth. And I just hope that, we'll take care of the football tonight. You always talk to your team when you're playing in a sloppy field that some weird things happen. In the kicking game, guys fall down, a lot of slippage and everything. So just play with a lot of confidence and don't doubt yourself. I just want to reiterate what you always tell a really good team, which I feel like we are. You can't let doubt, and you got to just remember that you believe in each other, believe in the coaches, and believe in your system, and understand that let's just go out there and play the game. That's what you do. You play the game, have some fun. And the fans that are there tonight are the true fans, because I'm telling you, it's some inclement weather.
What's the worst game you coached in weather-wise?
I coached in that ice bowl out at Oklahoma against Oklahoma State, where the field over there to Oklahoma State was just complete ice. And, we changed shoes and everything, but it didn't make much difference. A lot of slipping and sliding, but just everybody was miserable. About 12 o'clock that day was perfect. It was about 45 degrees. And then we had just an unbelievable ice storm. And we put a little psyche on them, though. We didn't even go out and warm up. We just went into the Gallagher-Iba Arena and just kind of loosened up, and then went out there right before kickoff. And I think they kind of figured we were a little overconfident. We really were just freezing our butts off. And we just went out there and kicked their butt. But that was a tough game for playing under bad conditions.
Those are real badasses.
Right.
They're just cold.
Right. But
what's the worst game you coached at Georgia weather-wise? You never had any ice situations like that.
No, we didn't. We were pretty fortunate. Usually have pretty good weather, and we've had some real hot games.
Better in the South. Oh, yeah.
But, I felt like some of the games there were some hot things going on the way we played. But, I think this week has certainly been, and I just want to reiterate to the fans, the reason we're doing this is to try to give you a little bit more insight in the game, but also it's good to be able to answer some of the questions that you have to maybe help out a little bit about why decisions are made and why they're not. Sometimes you don't understand. Like last week, people were asking me during the week about why we didn't return punts better. Well, South Carolina's notorious for faking punts, and they had the ball around the 40 almost the whole second and third quarter, so you got to be careful and call a safe punt. So they really knocked us back, and that was a big thing. And our kicking game cost us as much as anything: a blocked field goal, a missed field goal, no punt returns. And but you got to play it safe against a team that really likes to fake a punt.
I asked her that specifically in the press conference. I'm like, are you telling Dominic Blaylock not to return the punt, before he goes out there? And he actually said good question, so I appreciate that. But it was a chance for him to do exactly what you did, explain it. He said the exact same things. We worry about a fake punt, where they were on the field. And, a lot of people want Georgia to be more aggressive. But at that point, if he got burned on a fake, now they've got great field position with a new set of downs. But if you're working to protect, if you're working to stop the fake, you have no protection for him. And you saw some of those gunners coming down. Those guys were flying. It would have been him one-on-one. He would have gotten killed. And you've already had Kyrus Jackson, the first game of the season, get a broken hand, a guy who can return kicks for you. Your Lawrence Cager's out. You were beat up at the wide receiver spot. The last thing you want to do is take one of your star freshmen and get him injured. So I can see why he said, look, let's...
Well, the normal thing on every safe punt is to fair catch it. So he did a good job of that. But we got to get more out of kicking game. And I look for us to do some things tonight to exploit our running game, maybe run a little misdirection, maybe pull some linemen, which we haven't done much of.
I mentioned pulled linemen a while back, and you asked me on one of the radio shows, when's the last time they pulled one? And I couldn't name a time.
Yeah, maybe we won't. Who knows? But I just feel like that we got to change up a little bit because the really good teams like Notre Dame and South Carolina's front are playing off the blocks pretty well. So we got to do something to disrupt them at the line of scrimmage. So we're getting the ball on the kickoff here, and he kicks it a little short, which we mishandle it, which that's what worries you there on a wet field. There's a good example for anybody returning a kick. Is always been from the waist down to pick the ball up. Just don't stick your hands down like Cook did then, because you have a tendency to kick it with your foot. So you got to bend from the waist down like a shortstop. That's my coaching point starting out.
Is that similar to the scoop and score?
A little bit. You do a little bit of karaoke before the scoop and score. But here we
go.
Got to
shuffle your feet, right?
We got Ben Cleveland starting here at right guard, and we're going to have Mays at left guard with Kinley and Schaefer out.
Kinley's still out.
And I hope they give us some wide shot of our formation here. We're coming out in our three wides with one tight end.
Georgia's run one play. Oh, my goodness.
Really good point of attack block by there on the left side by Thomas. And Swift has talked about, us doing some stuff that really get it rolling. And I feel like Jake is going to have a big game tonight. I mean, he's got to be sold to the max about last week. We're coming out in a heavy set. This time we moved tight end. We got two tight end. Look, we got Mays at one of them over here.
Yeah.
So this could be a situation where we do actually run the counter. Beautiful point of attack block by Cleveland, Mays, and Wilson there. Just really power ball. I like that. Come off in Burma Road.
That is what Jim Chaney used to call bully ball.
Yeah. Well, Jim Chaney, who is he?
I'm just saying. That's what.
Hey, we can't.
Now, give him fair. He did recruit a lot of those
I
kids.
hope he doesn't try to do that tonight against Alabama. But.
Good luck with that.
All right. So right here, Jake's giving the offensive line the call. We're in a situation with three wide guys and a tight end on the weak side. Just being descriptive here a little bit.
Three plays, three different formations.
Yeah, that's true. Probably going to stick to the ground, which is good.
I like that what Brent Ross told us. Georgia's run one play all year without a tight end in the game.
Well, the thing that you always got to look at, 3rd and 3.
Yeah.
The defense is going to really be playing to run here. This is a good chance to fake up inside and hit the ball in the flat. A lot of it depends on the ball, though, if you can control it. I like being in the shotgun in a wet situation so you don't have to hit the center's butt to take the snap. It sometimes gets a sleek ball.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if he made it.
He did not. According by the yellow line on the screen.
Yeah, you got to make sure you get enough yardage before on an out route so when you come back, you still have it. It's just a freshman running a speed out. Yeah. We used to call it a motorcycle move, just like you turn a motorcycle, turn your shoulders, and we're forced to punt here.
So should he have gone flat instead of that comeback?
No, he should have gone another step before he went to the out.
Okay. Gotcha.
And this is absolutely the right thing to do in this kind of situation is go ahead and punt the ball because you give them this kind of field position. We're going to see what Camarja continues to thunderfoot. That's another just like he had last week.
Yeah,
that's going to be pretty good. It'll be interesting to see now with for me is UK going to come out in the situation with Sawyer Smith as the quarterback, or are they going to use Bowden? And it looks like
Yep. Here comes Bowden.
Coming out with Bowden. And for everybody that's not sure, he is a guy that played quarterback in high school.
Yep.
And as was wide receiver, and is a very good runner, not that great a passer, but he's good enough to hurt you.
All right, put a hurt on one of these Natty Light seltzers. I got to go to number 2.
It's okay. We'll keep up with it. He's smart enough to change the play when we change their line over there a little bit. Good call.
Yep.
And, people ask, why do you stem the line? Well, you like to line up in one look and get them thinking that you're going to be able to they block you, and then you move over, and it changes the whole offensive line's problems as far as who they got to get. But in that case, we might have stemmed a little bit too quickly, and they were able to change the play.
Yeah. Did you want to wait till after you make the designation from the center?
Yeah. But they don't know their snap count. They'll get better at that as the game progresses.
Oh, he's holding. Wow.
This is a team that really has committed to the run under Coach Stoops up there.
Yeah.
Eddie Grant, offensive coordinator, likes to really keep the ball away from the other team and run a very solid offense. They really do a good job of there's a good shot of Eddie Grant, who, by the way, was not offered the offensive coordinator job here.
No, that's not what I heard, Coach.
Yeah, well, I can tell you.
I know. Shout out to Nathan Floyd, taking care of us. He does see that we are representing the Southeast Georgia Bulldog Club in St. Mary's. Thanks, Nathan. We've spoken folks down there. People want to know where Dayne is. Dayne will be here momentarily. He was working he works at the Grady School, the best journalism school in America. He's over there working homecoming. It is homecoming at the University of Georgia. Right now it is 2nd and 10 with 10:38, 10:37, 10:36, 10:35 on the clock. So if you're trying to match it up with your watch along, if you're trying to pause your TV to hit it, that's where we are right now. We're at 10:25, 10:24. So just match up with us and you can hear Coach Donnan talk. All right, 2nd and 10, Coach.
That's good there. I mean, what you got to do is win first down against this. Here we go with the Wildcat offense, because now they're not a really adept passing team, even with Sawyer Smith in there at quarterback. They're a run-first team, and they got to average almost 4 yards a snap. Now they're in a tough situation after losing 5. Now they're in 2nd and 15. I could see them running some kind of sprint out here or a quarterback draw. Something that looks like a pass but takes care of the ball.
This is where I get nervous about this kid. Yeah. Oh, you nailed it, Coach. Oh, my goodness.
The guy is a really smart runner besides being effective. He uses blocks well. They ran the fake jet sweep, and then it's really kind of a read draw there. I mean, he could hand that ball to him or pitch it, or depending on what our linebackers do. And then he just kept the ball for a big pickup on 2nd and 15 to pick up 11.
Yeah, that's why I said that's when that kid makes me nervous. Long yardage like that, he can get it back in giant chunks.
Coach Stoops been eating some of his wife's biscuits there. He's pretty big on the sideline.
I think he's just a jacket.
Okay. A little bit bigger than I remember.
Yeah. Hey, there's great food up there.
There we go. Wrap up.
That was
very well played.
Tay Crowder spying him, you think?
No, I think he was just in a read situation there.
Okay.
I mean, it could be, what he's referring to as a spy is that you just take one guy and put him on him. But he saw the down block. He squeezed down. And good call there by the Coach Lanning coming with a little pressure there.
Oh, that's
one
of our blockers got
we
messed
got
up.
to return on here if we got a chance. I think we're going to return this one.
They're going to throw. Oh.
Say goodnight, Gracie. That's a good job. You could see, and there's the thing that always looked like we might have blocked in the back, but you could see our guys setting a wall back there, and it looked like he was going to hit the gash there.
Yeah, Prather Hudson actually ran into one of the linebackers there on his run back. So he was
Well, you got Kirby telling him there.
yeah. And so he was late getting back to the to his block, and when he got there, I think he might have clipped him. Yeah.
Good job, there, Roddy.
So right as he took off, he ran into somebody. So he was late getting back there, and he tried to overcompensate.
Those are kind of mistakes that worth about 30 yards there. 3 first downs. We haven't made the 1 first down, and you take away a play like that, and we're going to have a little commercial situation. So tell us about that seltzer we got here.
Well, I'm about to pop me open another one here. This is the.
We got to be able to make it through the whole game now.
Well, they saw how much I had last week, so they sent us a couple cases.
Okay.
So this is the 90 Light
Got
seltzer.
to be able to talk to.
Yeah, this is the Aloha Beaches. This is the. This one I hadn't tried as much. Now I do love, the lime. The lime is my favorite so far. What they call the Catalina wine mixer, which is black cherry and lime.
So that's kind of hit the market now, where a lot of people are going with the seltzers, aren't they?
Oh wow, that is delicious. Aloha Beaches, when mango and peach go beach mode. So you got mango and peach in this one. That's fantastic. But yeah, it's 6% alcohol, 2 flavors: the Aloha Beaches and of course the Catalina wine mixer. Cheaper than the other seltzers. It's light and refreshing. I had one of these before the game even started. Felt like I was just drinking nice light water. It's delicious. Some people are mixing them with vodka.
Really?
Now, it's already got 6% alcohol in it. Mm-hmm. And if you were to do that, that is not something I'm endorsing. I'm just saying people do it because we want you to please drink responsibly. I have a designated driver. His name's Dayne Young. You'll be here shortly. Dayne will pop in and sit with us and have some commentary as well. But I'll tell you, that mango and peach together.
Yeah, we'd like people that are buying some of this, maybe shoot a little picture on your phone and show it that you're out there. There's plenty of them around the Athens area and around the country.
They're all around the country.
You got one last week from somebody in San Antonio?
Yeah, out in Texas. We had somebody send us a picture. 133 calories.
Well, you always got to look at that. I will tell you this, that you're looking pretty svelte right now.
I've dropped about 30 pounds.
That's pretty strong.
And that's why I switched from this. I switched to these from some of the other things I would drink on a game day, which are not nearly as healthy for you. You can have these all day.
Well, you've been out there walking, too. Hey, you can't beat exercise.
No, I tried to. But it would be a great favor to us if you're actually buying some of these. Tweet me a picture. Let me show it to our friends over at Leon Farmer. Say, hey, we're getting the word out about this. And if you've got a recipe, if you're mixing yours with Tito's, you got some other thing, let me know about it because I want to know what people are doing with them.
How can they get that to you? Just
hit up at on RADI NABULSI on Twitter. Just put in Twitter, look at
RADI.
RADI.
On Twitter, what can you do it on YouTube? Send a picture.
Send me a picture to my email, Radi RADI at UGAsports.com.
All right.
Take the picture.
If not, just drive on over here and come in and watch the game with us.
Impact players, DeAndre Swift and J.R. Reed. I think that's fair.
Well, we're starting on the 10 instead of the 40 with that block in the back.
Oh, that's good. Well, that one's done.
Going for it.
Yep. And all day. But the great coverage, apparently.
Well, there's Harrion back after back spasms last week. But I like the fact that our protection was really solid there and had a pretty clean pocket for Jake.
That's a lot of time.
You're going to get that kind of protection when you only rush 4 because you got a double team on one guy and then you got the slide protection. This is a good defense, but not as athletic as South Carolina's.
Oh, look at that. Another formation.
2 backs. We Cook in the backfield. We didn't get any block on the perimeter.
No, and was that Eli Wolf? No, that's Charlie Warner.
There's a new look there. We had both backs with Swift and with Cook, and we put him in motion, but didn't get the perimeter block, which Charlie is usually pretty solid out there.
Yeah. Now, see, to me, the drawback there is you've got DeAndre Swift in it, but he's not taking up a blocker. I mean, he's not taking up a defender.
Well, he was faking a run there, but we didn't fake it very good. Why do you second guess?
I'm just saying, everyone's like, why don't we have 2 backs back there?
It didn't make any difference there if you don't block the perimeter. But you got to get something going here right now. We got to guy in motion with Robertson on a 3-by-1 situation. There's a good crossing route, but just overthrew it. It's one of the things that bother you when you're a college, high school, pro quarterback. It's you see those hand warmers. Your hands are your best friends during a game. You're getting a wet ball. I mean, no matter how much they try to dry him, you're getting a wet ball, and he's turning it over in his hand, trying to get a good grip there, and he just lets it go a little bit high. I'm glad he did, because I think he'd have probably got a really bad collision there if he'd have let him anymore. This is where you got to have a big kick here, Jake. But you got a good one there.
Yep. Wow. So over midfield.
Well, there's a great example of a penalty.
That penalty is coming back. You could have flipped the field, but
we've already punted twice tonight, which is what we did the last 3 or 4 games, the whole game.
Yeah, there was only two punts last week.
So who else we got? Tell us
penalties.
about the mortgage company there. I want to keep you working here instead of drinking.
Oh, no, I'm telling you, that mango peach is fantastic. I just would say for our friends at Southeastern Mortgage, they have a website you can go to. You can look them up, but the easiest way to get a hold of them is to go to 123getloan.com. 123GET.loan.com. You can go to 123getloan.com. Right now, the interest rates are at historical lows. They're not going to last. So we told you guys this last week. We want you to do the same thing this week. First thing Monday morning, call our friends at Southeastern Mortgage, or you can apply online right now at 123getloan.com. If you want to refinance, pull cash out. If you've got 2 mortgages, you got a second mortgage, consolidate them into one. Lower your monthly payment. Get a much better rate, or shorten the term of your loan. I mean, if you've got a 30 and you've paid 3 years into it or 5 years into it, you can get that thing shrunk down and be out of it much faster. With a better loan, if you can afford the rate you have now, you can shorten up the time considerably. So don't pay $100,000, $200,000 in mortgage interest. So get our friends up at Southeastern Mortgage. They will take care of it. These guys are pros. It's one of the biggest, if not the biggest, mortgage company in the state. Huge Georgia fans. Can't tell you how. I mean, I know they're glued to the game right now. These are the folks who are probably inside the stadium right now, getting soaking wet, freezing. That's why we say call on Monday. We don't say call now. Okay, call them on Monday. If you're looking for a number, it's 770-452-1424. 770-452-1424. Extension 201 or extension 202. Well, like I said, you just go online. You got your phone in front of you. You got your laptop or whatever. Hit 123getloan.com. Tell them Radi sent you.
Good job, Ronnie.
Just saying. There's our friends over there. Good. I mean, phenomenal.
Yeah, and one of the things
Georgia
I appreciate, you've really gone to some big expense, some of this equipment you got. I mean, I feel like I'm in a studio here with all this HD equipment and the microphones and everything. You're really trying to service your customers, man. That's
trying to.
That's what somebody does when they try to lose weight when you're really heavy.
We got a question. Hamwich says, over or under on passes in the middle of the field?
Well, we've thrown one tonight already. That one right there was in the middle of the field. And we also threw the one to Harry, and so we've had 2.
There you go.
I think that's probably a little bit overblown at this point. But the thing that we
second big play by Richard LeCount. That's 2.
The thing that we don't do is throw to the outside receivers over the middle. We throw to the slots and to the tight
ends, right.
But South Carolina played to the outside technique on our outside guys. I can see us throwing some slants and some post routes tonight, hopefully. Here we go.
Shout out to Zizo Jalari standing there in the backfield. He beat his man quick.
Yeah, make sure I pronounce his name right. Somebody said they always laugh when I pronounce his name. Jay Cruz told me that. So,
Ojulari.
Ojulari. I'm gonna go with it. Ojulari. He did a good job on his interviews this week.
Yeah.
Here's Bowden trying to pass, and this is where you can just see. He's
looks like a high school coach. I mean, high school quarterback.
That's not one of his strengths. That's why he's a wide receiver.
Yeah.
But you win first down against Kentucky, you're going to really have a good chance of really stifling them. You know what I'm saying? This is a team that almost lost to Arkansas. We just got to get going here and get some field position. And
Mike Stoops has been to Biscuitville. Perchco Donnan.
All right. Is that what he said?
Biscuitville. I didn't know that was a real place. They don't look like they had enough guys on the line of scrimmage.
This is a pure sprint out. We got to contain.
Wow.
Now, if this was an offensive coach, he would go for it, but he's a defensive coach. He's probably going to go for it. Watch him trying to draw us offsides.
See Quay Walker coming up fast on that one.
That's where on sprint out passes, your linebackers are just so golden.
Yeah. So who do they have now?
We got a little misalignment here. We got to get somebody over on that right side.
Malik Herring.
Here we go.
He's we had 3 guys there lined up on the right-hand side of the center. I mean, on his left.
He's mad at the coach because he thought he had to play, and they called timeout on him. But here's the thing. You only got so many opportunities, and UK's looking at great field position, and if they don't make it, we should be rolling there. Hopefully we'll get some first downs. But so what do you want to interject? Any questions at this point?
Apparently Biscuitville is a real restaurant in North Carolina.
Yeah, there's one up in West Virginia, too. Got the Hero. Was one of the best biscuits I've ever eaten. It's got a little bit of everything on it. But
a lot of people complaining about the field position shifted due to a penalty. That's correct. Tell Coach Donnan, Greg Brumfield from Aaron Ferguson said hi. Marshall days.
Greg Brumfield?
Brumfield, yes, sir.
Good
and
man.
Aaron Ferguson.
Aaron Ferguson, a great player for me, All-American. Greg Brumfield from up there in Huntington. I'm glad to. There's a great example of Facebook. All these guys follow us on YouTube and Facebook and get a chance for the Herd. How about the Herd last night with a big win over Florida Atlantic down there? I was really impressed with the way they were able to come from behind. And it's always good when your old players stay in touch with you, Roddy. That makes me feel good. Aaron, I've been so proud of him. He's helped us recruit. We had that one kid last year I thought we were going to get, but his mom and dad thought it was too far. He's starting at offensive tackle for Virginia Tech.
Really?
Yeah.
As a freshman?
Yeah. Aaron did a good job helping us. His mom and dad just thought it was too far.
All right. Jay Lang wants to know, what is the coach's opinion of that last offensive possession play calling?
I don't think the calls were so bad. I thought the execution wasn't great. You can call a flat pass. Everybody says get the ball to Cook. We missed the block on the perimeter, and then third down, we had a good call. Just overthrew the guy. It would have been close where they made the first, but it's just when you're on their 10-yard line and you're in the wet conditions, you got to be careful. So we went for a big play on first down, and they covered it, and we threw it underneath to the check guy. We threw a flare pass and got hit. So now you're in third down. So we didn't run the ball at all on that series. I'm sure we'll come out and run it first down next play. There's Eddie Grand.
I argued with a lot of people, especially a lot of other writers, who said that he was offered especially the Kentucky folks said that he was offered the offensive coordinator position at Georgia. If you go back and check our reporting, we reported that was incorrect.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And there's what happens when you got too much coaching there. They went over there for 4 days and 14 nights and decided what they're going to do and had 56 guys in motion. You beat yourself there. Now you got to punt.
He has gone to Biscuitville.
Usually your first thought's your best one, okay? They were going to go for it. They went up there. They're ready to run the play. Then they got a little doubt. Then they called timeout. Then they come back.
Georgia wasn't ready. If they go right off the bat.
Now here's one for sure. We got the safe punt on. Will Fair catch this one. I hope he kicks it out of the end zone.
Block, block, block.
He really didn't hit it very well.
No.
Got a good bounce though.
Yeah, he did.
Field position nightmare for the Dogs right now. I hope the penalty's on them for illegal procedure. I hope it's not us having too many men on the field. All right, Cats, keep it up.
How do you know all this?
I don't know anything. Really.
You watch this game already. You seen
this guy doesn't even know his microphone isn't working.
Yeah. Which you should, because when you speak, you actually hear it come out over the stadium loudspeaker.
Right. Now, you might consider going on a return. You might consider here. He's getting on that guy as a special teams guy.
Yeah. I mean, you had him pinned inside the 17. Now all of a sudden they get another shot at it. This
might be a hold-up return by the Dogs. We're holding them up, trying to get a return. Good points by the kicker, though.
Yeah.
He saw that we were. I'm telling you, the kicking game, 1 out of every 6 plays in a game is a kick, and about 4 of them in this game have been really big.
Yep.
What's happened so far? Just a terrible punt by them. We needed that. We need a first down here and get rolling here. You know what?
Just run the ball. Stop throwing it. Just run it.
I got a feeling right now. I just feel like we're like, I don't know how we're going to explode, but we're going to.
We got folks watching from Okinawa, Japan. Shout out to you. We got folks in Nashville, Wisconsin, Tennessee, Atlanta, Africa. You lying, just not rock.
Africa.
Yeah. Come on, not just rocks. You're making that up. Dublin, Georgia, one of my favorite places.
Right.
So we got folks all over. Execution is the main problem, not playing calling. Lloyd Dog is correct. Whoa!
Well, there's a situation there where they got just kamikazed off the edge there. They didn't. We blocked everybody, but their safety came on a star stunt. Mm-hmm. And watch him come off the edge here. Nobody's on the guy. And they mark him like you've never seen Jake Fromm play before. He does that every time he throws the ball, Rod. Every time.
For 3 years.
I mean, he's flipping the ball over.
Yeah. How did you not see that in practice? They get to go to practice.
That's okay. We don't need to bust them.
I do.
They're definitely committing to the run there.
Yeah.
If we've ever needed to make a first down here it is. First play of the game, we got 12 yards, and since then, not a whole lot. So this game is going remarkably fast.
4 minutes left in the first quarter. So right off the bat, you've lost 11 minutes. Run behind Cade and Big Andrew Thomas.
This is a pass.
Yep. Woo.
I don't know about that one.
That's 2 runs right up the middle. Neither one of them got very far.
It's not lack of confidence. It's raining.
Yeah, I think that the weather. We knew it'd be a little conservative play calling because of the weather. You can't do everything you'd want to do, but that's not.
We need to hit this one big.
I don't think you got on that one.
I worry about we get remarkably close to the back end of our punt guys when we kick it.
A lot of hang time?
That was good. I'm talking about the guy, the searchlighter back there backs up a little bit, and sometimes Jake looks like he has to really reel it in on his follow-through.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. The guy that's backing up, yeah.
Well, this has been a lot different than what I thought. So this is 2 weeks in a row that I've been completely wrong starting the game out. But
no, you call it every play before it happens.
The thing that's really perplexing here is our speed on the perimeter. I thought we'd be able to outflank these guys, but we did block the first play pretty well. But they had a good call with their safety coming off the edge there that just unblocked. And
that's it. Iceberg Play says a way too conservative mindset. Omari says we have to do better.
He's right, but
Cooper says they know what we're doing before we snap the ball.
But you're being conservative because of where we are on the field, and it's a wet field. Forget about what's happened in the previous game. You just can't go out there and go all out in a situation like this. I mean, certainly we are being conservative here. There's no question about it. But
Yeah.
I would say with these field conditions and the ball, slippery ball, I mean, you give them a little juice here. That's what they're going to do to us. We're going to get a turnover. Even Doug is a little bit.
Yeah, I was like, come on, I don't want to see this. All right, so let's give it to the defense. I do have somebody asking what is the Natty Light Seltzer. Those are the new drinks. That's seltzer water, flavored, alcoholic, 6% alcohol by volume. Please drink responsibly. Oh, smoke. Tackle pretty hard.
I tell you
there.
what they're doing pretty good here is they're getting a tie on our tackles, our outside guy and outflanking us, and we're really coming up and making the tackle, but they're doing a good job of getting the ball to the edge. And what's going to happen if we start flying out of there, Bowden's going to keep it up inside.
Yeah. Now, Smoke is quite the running back. I mean, not Benny Snell, but Smoke is very good. And,
He's really good.
You know,
that's what he's talking to him right now about, hey, get leverage there and hold the guy up and don't get hooked.
Looked like he landed on his elbow. I don't care how wet that field is. You drive that elbow into the ground with somebody on top of you. That does not feel good.
And this field really does drain well, but we've been pelted all
it's
day.
It's rained
here.
all day. It's miserable out there. See Nakobe Dean.
We were coming with Nakobe, and we switched back to look how deep our backers are playing. They're really keying in. We got the safety coming up here, too. Good hit.
Wow.
That was Nolan
Smith.
Really good job, but
told you.
You know,
now I get to say I told you. I love that guy.
Bowden right there really wasn't reading that, because if you just read the shoulders of the guy, if he turns his shoulders inside, then it's a keep. If he stays square, then you can give the ball off. And in that case right there, that was a poor read. We're heating up a little bit with a 5-minute pressure. He's got him too. What an athlete. Really good pressure there. People talk about havoc. Now that's what you call right there. Now's the time to get a return on and get this game under control.
See, that is the perfect example why you don't say that sacks are the determining factor for when it comes to perimeter blocking or pass rush blocking. You say, well, so-and-so is only giving up one sack, therefore their pass protection must be good. No, I mean, the guy, he scrambled, had nothing to do. He threw the ball away.
Anybody can, that's exactly right. Good point. I mean, that was a call. That throw was caused by the pressure.
Yeah, but he wasn't sacked, so you can't say that they had good pass protection there. He was running for his life.
Here comes Dayne. This
Dayne.
guy here's, how do we every week get everybody's best punt?
Whoa.
But let me tell you something. They're doing here.
They can punt really good at Sanford Stadium.
Here's what we're gonna see here. I think we can block a punt on this guy. Watch how long he holds the ball before he kicks, because we're not really coming in there hard on him. And that way the coverage is a lot better. But he's holding the ball 2 or 3 seconds before he punts it. And he's not even rugby punting.
What'd I miss?
Nothing.
Game hadn't started yet. Dave.
Absolutely nothing.
They were waiting on me. That's all
You
it
got to
was.
put your mic on, man. You got it on?
My mic is on. We're rocking.
All right.
Hey, y'all let me know if y'all can hear
They
Dayne.
even missed you. Somebody asked where you were.
Oh, thank you, somebody.
No, some people said, Coach, they knew it was going to rain for 4 days. Why is the rain an issue? I mean,
Is that a rhetorical question?
Yeah, it is. That's a legitimate question.
You got
But
a wet ball, a wet field, the wind's blowing. I don't know if something's wrong with Swift, but he hasn't been in the last 6 plays.
it's the third play right up the middle.
I did get a text from a friend at the game saying there have been some boo birds from the crowd for some of these offensive play calls.
Well, that's 3 plays right up the middle, which, again, you have the best offensive line, supposedly, in college football. You have great backs. I can see why why would you want to run it? Absolutely. Running is a good idea. But they're just not getting the the push and the gaps, the holes to move these guys forward like they want to.
Now,
Now,
Swift
Swift's
in
back
there.
in now.
2nd and 6, going running again.
They come for that run.
There we go. Just not getting a lot of movement there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. George Pickens having some words with the cornerback over there.
I think the thing we got to do right now is just button up and no more penalties here.
The one penalty we saw earlier just really killed Georgia. Georgia gets a nice gets a return with Dominic Blaylock. We're talking about the special teams. He gets a great return, but Hudson Prather was held up at the line. He runs into one of his own players, then gets a block of the back penalty and just kills Georgia. And now they're, sitting at 3rd and 4, inside its own 30.
Turn it up.
Get over the line of scrimmage.
He's over the line of scrimmage.
Over the first down line. Excuse me, folks.
That's what I'm.
Well, he shouldn't learn his lesson after that first one.
Yeah,
But
he wants to break it. He wants to break it and go, but he's going to be right on there.
We're talking about the weather. It's just harder to throw a wet ball, harder to catch it. There's a good example of what it's like there. Even the lady's hair is wet.
Yeah.
They got a rule you can't have umbrellas in the stadium, so everybody just got to suffer a little bit. But we went through a scoreless first quarter. And really field position nightmare starting it out, but fortunately for us, nothing happened with their offense.
Why not run towards the open field? Jason Schmidt asks.
Well, a lot of times that's the place to go, but most teams will overshift their defense to their front or the secondary to the field, because that's where you got to protect most areas. So into the boundary, a lot of times it's easier to run, but a lot of times they'll stack their defense to the field, but they'll slant back into the boundary. And so it's just a guessing game there about where they've got the extra guy or the strength. But, there comes a point where, hey, we know you're there. We're still going to do it. And I like to use the field just like he was suggesting. A little bit tougher when it's a wet surface, though, to maybe get to the outside quicker. You know what I mean? Because you can't seal it as easily. By that I mean, a really fast guy, if you get a tie, can outrun even a guy that's overstretched to the field. But when it's a little bit slowed down, you're going against some tough numbers.
And when they're kind of shifted towards the field, it makes your guys can get on their inside of them and keep them, and he runs to the boundary.
Right, or you run the cutback, or you run the counter, which I'm hoping they're going to do, but maybe they're not. That's just might be just a fantasy football from the old coach. I think our team needs a little bit of misdirection.
Mario says, why not put the receivers in motion?
Okay, we've run a few motion plays, not as much tonight as probably could, but the downside of the motion is that if you're not going to throw it to them or use them as blockers, they're better off getting their footing right there and going on and taking off. But motion's good, shifting's good. The illusion of a guy going one way. I mean, we've done some good motion, but we haven't done nearest. But a reason why you don't do motion is what happened to UK on the 4th down play when they had the guy in motion. They had 3 of them at the same time.
Question for Coach. Should we try the same slant and go that tricked our defense during the Tennessee and South Carolina game?
That'd be good. I like that. I like some kind of double move, but it's hard to do a double move when you're not making many first downs.
Levon says
that's what you would call a waste down, because you either make it or you don't. If you don't, then you got 2nd long or 3rd and long. So we got to establish a couple first downs here, and then maybe we can do it. But we shouldn't be a team that's struggling like this at this point. But you take into account the weather, the fact that we played so poorly last week, our confidence maybe not what it needs to be. We're doing a guy that we really miss is Cager, who is just a given for a guy you're going to hit all the time. But give those people a lot of credit. It looks like a lot of students out there supporting the Dogs.
Roddy, have we established?
How about Georgia beating Miami today? I like that from a standpoint of we got some really good recruits in from Miami today, and I'm sure our coaches told them about that.
yes.
Have we established how lucky you are to be sitting in a temperature-controlled room?
No, we established the fact that I can knock these back in about 10 seconds apiece.
You don't do that on the sidelines with the flask? Okay.
No, not anymore. They tend to frown on that.
There's Cook.
Oh my goodness.
There's a guy in motion for, who was that, Amari that asked that?
Yep.
You know, a lot of talk about the receivers right now at Georgia. And with injuries, with the people that left, there comes opportunity. And there's a lot of talented football players in this roster with the chance to make a difference. Yeah. And maybe tonight's that night, maybe it isn't. We'll see.
Weather's a little bit of a situation there, but
absolutely.
There's a good hole.
There it was. Wow. Hello to Albert. Hi guys, love y'all. We love you too, Albert. Jay Bold says we have plenty of receivers. We need a new QB. Really? Okay. Gotta hate a guy that's hitting on that many completions, won that many games.
Just get a little rhythm here.
Yeah.
I want to credit Trey Hill there because he had a little bit of a rough game last week, and definitely can't question the effort on that previous block. He was blocking definitely through the play.
There's a lot of people going to have trouble with that guy he blocked last week.
True.
Been better off dropping that one.
Yeah.
Here's what's the bad part about people wanting to open it up. When you throw on first down and you lose 10 yards, either through a sack or right here, I'd like to see maybe in that situation a play action instead of just a show pass. But we could.
2nd and 17. And that's, if you're a conservative coach, you don't call those as much.
Quick screen to Robertson.
Again,
I tell you, these guys are
blocked.
playing really good on the perimeter, making the tackles. Everybody just comes out and plays against us, tackles well in space.
So you wanted some different plays? There's 3 different plays, and only one was successful. One lost you 10 or 7 yards. One got you nothing. See, the guy on the TV is saying, you run on first down. They just threw on first down, and he's like, oh, it's so predictable.
Well, we've only had about 6 yards in the passing game, though, to this point when it lost yardage plays. But go on. Just not our forte, 4th, 3rd and long. But the first down play killed us there. I mean.
Yeah.
If you're watching this replay, look at how Andrew Thomas just continually, and Cade Mays in this case too. I mean, the pocket was clean. It's just a difficult down and distance at that point.
If you ever had a good punt, this is where you got to have one. We got to pin them back on about the 5 here. God, what a punt. Nothing wrong with his punting lately.
Nope.
Last week or this week.
Ball's on the 20.
Fromm has completed 5 of 6 passes for 12 yards.
Well, and he's had a couple it's hard to throw the ball down the field into the wind, too, I think. Are we into the wind now or not? What's the average mile per hour right now? What's the wind? Does it say what it is on the stadium there?
No. Jason Schmidt says 0 separation.
He's right.
That's correct. But I like what you said on our podcast the other day. You don't have Riley Ridley out there. You don't have Mecole Hardman. Barnes Cager's out. You don't have Jeremiah Holloman. He's kicked off. You don't have Terry Godwin. Those are guys that got separation. So you moved on to a George Pickens, a true freshman. Dominic Blaylock, a true freshman.
Not going to get separation on a wet field, though.
Yeah.
I don't care if you got jets.
Yeah.
The guys are playing off of them a little bit. They're doing a good job of holding us up when they do play us off. But It's just a shame that we got this kind of weather. Reality, both teams are playing in it, but you just don't see a whole lot of good passing in the wet on a wet field with the wind blowing. I can handle even a wet field. I just hate the wind. Have you got the miles per hour on the wind?
We can look
It's
up.
supposed to be 15 or 30 gusts.
Yeah, we actually had one of our subscribers at UJSports.com is a guy who's finishing up his meteorology degrees. Already got 1 degree going back from
Right.
meteorology. And he was talking about, he said there were going to be some serious gusts inside the stadium. He actually was speaking to some folks at UGA about the ceiling and all this other stuff, all this weather stuff I didn't understand. Not a meteorologist, but he was like, look, and again, if the rain is bad, wet balls are bad, but windy is another nightmare altogether.
Yeah.
14 miles an hour right now, Coach.
All right. Thank you.
That ain't the best.
And I think a lot of times what makes it even more difficult with this is it's not consistent one way or the other. When you have a tropical system, I mean, there's some swirling happening there at times.
Matt Stevens, you crack me up, says, the garbage makes me want a Natty Light seltzer. And I do want you guys to try the new Natty Light seltzer. It is the seltzer you never saw coming. Please drink responsibly. We'd appreciate it. And keep it crisp, dog fans. Enjoy Bud Light as well. So we have some Bud Lights here. If you were sitting with us, we'd give you one because after that quarter, I think it's time to move on to number 3.
Well, right now this is a huge series to stop them and flip the field here with the field position. You got to play like this a one-possession game till you take hold of it. There comes the quarterback keep finally, and there's a great example of a young quarterback not taking what they give you and trying to make something. Shows you the speed at which our defense really can react. That was really good.
Good job, Jermaine Johnson, number 1 JUCO player in the nation, coming in, getting off his block, working on that containment. He did his job and actually made the tackle.
You don't often praise defensive vision. That's something you kind of reserve for ball carriers, but that takes some really good vision to see that lane and attack it.
They're keeping him in.
I just hope they throw the ball.
Wow, nowhere to go there. Big shout out to Justin Young, who got into the backfield quick, was just standing there going, what are you going to do with the ball? I think you could have tackled them both if you'd wanted to, but 5th-year senior out of Grayson High School, a guy who a lot of people forgot was on the team.
Really
stuck with it, hung with it, and between he
and Schaefer and all those guys hanging in there. I hope we can make a punt. I think we can block a punt on these guys.
All right, little late substitution there, bringing in Tyler Clark for
Jordan Davis.
Big Jordan Davis. Bringing
Glad
in a
to have
faster
Jordan
guy.
back.
Yeah.
It's quarterback draw all the way, I can tell you.
When they move the trips right to get him out of the way.
Goodness, play the ball in there. Luckily, it came out.
Don't act like you had a whole lot to do with that.
That was one of the poorer coverages I've seen from Eric Stokes, and it worked out.
It drives me
To this
nuts.
point, have we played Campbell any?
I was trying to, when they had that trips right, I was looking to see if he was down there.
I noticed Daniel's in the game there, but
He may be a little lucky that he didn't get called for pass interference with the
Yeah, he's all over him.
right arm.
he never had control over it. But
Yeah.
all right, block this punt. He went to the little rugby there.
Yeah.
Handle it. God, you can't let it roll like that.
So just when you think you're going to get good field position, again, special teams, penalties, turnovers. That's your 3 ingredients for an upset. So far, you've had a major penalty, and you're not really killing it on special teams, Coach.
That's a 50-yard punt. Net.
If the upset happens again, then people are going to tell us to get off the air, and it's our fault.
I've already seen that, yeah.
Yeah.
What'd they do?
If we were to have another upset like last week, since
Oh, blame it on us.
yeah.
While you were gone, we brought you a pizza.
Oh, I'm sure you ate it
Hey,
too.
No.
I'll be glad to if they want us to. I really can't take the credit for us losing, though.
So
We're in a
tight
tight look here. Let's make something happen here, Swift.
George Pickens is a playmaker.
Yeah. Great throw and catch right there. Shout out to our friends. Is that the one I already chewed some on? Oh, yeah, I did. Okay, yours is the other one.
It's all good.
I'm not sure which is which.
I've got some Your Pie stories for you. I did some PR for them.
All right. Big shout out to our friends over at Your Pie, Drew and Natalie French. Great folks. Hooked us up with the pizzas and salads and sandwiches today. 70 different Your Pie locations. Hit them up. Great throw and catch there. That was big. There you go.
That's a good tough run. Coach, you've put together a lot of defensive game plans. How early on in a process when you're looking at a team would someone like George Pickens stand out as, we got to stop that guy?
Well, at this point, you wouldn't look at him like that because of all the other guys. But, he's starting to surface a little bit with 7 catches last week. He really hadn't hurt anybody deep yet, with the exception of a couple of those lesser teams. So, but there won't be long before they'll be saying that. That's for sure. When you when your scouting report say he's a guy that can go deep on us. Now you got to get your feet set there, Jake. That was just a quick throw there. We finally got Karras in the game.
Yeah, I was about to say, Karras Jackson, who had his hand broken in the first game, is back, as we mentioned in our Georgia 3-2-1 report. Keep an eye on him.
Shout out to Ron Corson there. He got a specially made cast for that young man so he could play a couple weeks earlier.
Really?
A very reduced cast. You saw him out at practice with a club on.
Oh, yeah.
They got a really broken down cast there that it wasn't broken down. I mean, it was cut down.
Right.
And really makes it flexible enough where he can catch a football.
3rd and 5. This is where James Coley will make some money.
Pickens comes in a little tighter.
You got to Burma Road him here. He made it.
Oh.
There's a lot of fans that are going to like to see that from Jake, though.
He made up his mind he was going to make it.
Yep.
I think he's a little short.
Where that sideline judge came in, he kind of. Oh, okay, got it.
So we got Kenley back in the game finally.
Yep.
Kenley's in a left guard, and I'm not sure if Ben's the right guard or Kate.
Coach Tom Shaw asked, what are you seeing that they are giving us and then what we're not taking?
All right, let's just see about this mark here. I think they're doing a really good job of tackling in space, and we're not really blocking the perimeter like we need to. They're overplaying the inside for sure, so I think we got to do some misdirection and get the ball to the outside more. Maybe throw the ball to our inside receiver some too, which we haven't done much of.
We have a lot of folks asking, hey, thanks for going to Your Pie, Kurt. We appreciate that. Why no slant routes? Wouldn't you be going right into the linebackers?
I can't answer that one.
Would you call that here? Is that a good call at this stage?
Exactly. They play our outside guys outside. We never throw a slant. So you have to ask. I'm not being disloyal there. We just don't throw the slants. We throw the RPOs to the inside receivers off the backers behind them, but the outside guy, we don't throw the inside route.
Short.
I'd punt it. You never know about the snap. You never know what they're going to do. You give him the ball on the 50. If you don't make it, he's going to sneak it. We got a new sneak formation there where we put big guys behind them and push them. I don't know if we're going to use it now or not.
What do you always say, Coach? Don't do a lot of misdirection or change snap counts. Just go and don't get a penalty.
Yeah, May's in there too for the jumbo package.
Just let them make sure the ball's set before you break the huddle.
Yep.
always worry about the snap right here. We just brought another ball in. Here it is. Watch these guys behind them. They're going to push Fromm on the sneak. He didn't make it
He
either.
did not get it.
Had that one.
Yeah.
I don't think we really got the snap that good.
It didn't look like there was an initial push. You know, you like
No.
to see the quarterback find his lane and kind of dive into it and get the push from behind. It just kind of stalled where the snap happened.
Yeah,
See,
go.
see the new formation we ran?
Yeah, you're right. That was a new formation we saw, and you're right. They lined up and pushed him. Kirby Smart's number one thing that he's been talking about is Georgia's got to get better in short yardage situations.
Well, I'm going to take up for that was a good call. The only problem is through footing on a wet field, you don't get a lot of traction. Look how many guys slip back there. Did you see
Yeah.
Hill's feet go straight back?
Yep.
If your center is snapping, his feet slip. That would have been a good call in dry field, but not tonight.
The zero technique submarined knocks Trey Hill straight to the ground. He's got no way to push because his feet are sliding.
Right.
That play's a good example, though. Like that was a fine playing call. But you cannot blame the play calling there. Execution of it. Execution based on the circumstances on the field.
You had 1, 2, 3,
this
three
team-
5-star offensive
this
linemen on
team
that
had-
line, 2 4-stars.
This guy right here hadn't completed the pass tonight, but they got the ball on the 50.
He'll complete one now just to piss you off. Oh my goodness. How are you not?
Man,
I mean, J.R. Reed was all over him.
Yeah. Shout out to Georgia's secondary with the coverage there. I still haven't got a good look at Tyson Campbell, see if he's out there.
was he in?
I'm looking for him.
Looks like 14 over there.
Yeah.
We got Devon in
Yeah.
at
He's in
safety.
He was stepping in and looking like he was going to blitz. But
Glad
he
to see
backed
big
off now.
99 in there.
Yep. Stokes to the top. Daniel at the bottom. There's that draw you were saying was coming.
I would just pretty much a read play there. He just followed his back and dancing through there. Game since 2000, but Heinz Ward did that.
Kirby needs to fire Coley now if he wants to keep the fans happy. If the fans had their way, they would fire everybody. That's just how it goes. I pointed out how many people wanted to fire Jim Chaney, how many people wanted to fire Mike Bobo. Now everybody wanted to fire Schottenheimer, but that was legit. That was okay. You know, I'm not going to worry about that one. What's the point of firing a coach midseason? Your offensive coordinator. And let's actually have them on a dry surface. You know, Georgia's offense is much better than they're playing. We've seen them play better. So, and the defense is going against a Pop Warner offense. I think that's a little fair. I mean, well, it looks like a high school offense. You got a high school quarterback playing there right now.
The results are not good. That's what. Of all the times we had to play in a bad field, you could be Missouri right now losing to Vanderbilt. That would be a shocker too.
You know, I think at this point, though, especially with the field conditions, style points don't matter at all. Escape with a win and give yourself a chance in Jacksonville. I mean, find a way to win. Ugly, pretty, find a way to get a win.
I do get what people. I mean, you're worried about this offense. You're not worried about the defense right now. But I mean, come on, this is not this Kentucky defense is. They're not world beaters. You've got 0 points, very few yards, a couple good passes, 1 or 2 good runs. All the talent in the world. I mean, there are guys rated all over the place. But here's the thing. The reason I don't get on Coley and the play calling all the time is because we've seen bad execution. And I know people say, well, don't blame the players. Well, who the hell else are you going to blame? Mm-hmm. Who did not make his block when James Cook had the ball on the outside? Who didn't get any push on that 4th and 1? You know? Yeah, it's some weather conditions, but it's also execution. I mean, let's see guys do their jobs and the play not work, then I'll blame the play calling. I think that's fair.
Yeah, I just don't want to get into that part of it.
I'm just saying this.
Let you handle that.
No, I've got no problem. I'll call it what it is. But again, I just want to see guys do their job.
Got a reverse pass.
Interception. Oh.
Good play there, Mark.
I saw
Webb.
Tariq McGee coming up.
Mark Webb knocked that ball down.
I think it was
26. That was McGee.
McGee. That's what.
Yeah, that's Tyreek.
You know, good job by
What a
Tyreek
crappy
McGee.
pass. There you go, Peach County.
Good job for not getting a pass interference there. You see a lot of over-aggressive safeties.
Yeah, we had a bad pass interference last week.
Yeah, you see that
Now,
that right hand when he goes up with his left.
We'll have the
right
safe
hand on him?
return on here now.
Yeah.
Try to catch it if it's a.
Whoa!
He just kind of flicked that, and it still turned out good.
Oh my!
All we do is have 90 yards. It's like a.
All right, so where do you start from here, Coach? It's 6:38 to go in the second quarter. 0-0 score. You're inside your own 20.
Well, I actually on the 10. So I would. You always
Which will
say,
be inside the 20.
Yeah, but I mean, we're even 10 more back.
Yeah, that's right.
Seriously,
Inside
I think
your 11.
the best thing you got to do is go with your best back behind your best lineman. I'd really try to go hard with Swift behind Thomas and see what we could get. See if we can bounce, get something started here. But don't go crazy throwing the ball and have some tip ball or something and give them field position. But you're in a situation here where things aren't going great, but at the same time, they're not going unbelievably bad from the standpoint of you're not turning the ball over, your kicking game's okay except for the block in the back. So, hey, we just got to figure out how to handle this field conditions and the ball and everything, and get through this half without giving them something with this kind of field position. But
Yeah.
certainly it's
a very slow start for the offense. This has been Georgia's offensive problem more weeks than not. Been slow to get going on the offense. I don't know if it's a feeling out process. I don't know if it's an execution process. Play calling. Could be the play calling. I didn't like those 3 runs up the middle, when you weren't getting anywhere. But then
we ran 3 straight passes too.
Yeah.
But our passing game is hurting us because we're getting nothing out of it.
Yeah.
We got some yardage on the runs, but
I don't know. It just seems like there's 9 guys in the box, and all of Georgia's wide receivers are covered. That's what it looks. That's what it feels like. It's like if all those guys are set up to take away the run, where's the open receivers? It just doesn't feel like he's there.
I don't know if there's 9 guys in the box.
That's what it feels like. Every time you give it to a running back, it seems like there's 2 guys coming free. Even when you have a tight end blocking plus the other 5, all of a sudden, it's 2-on-1, not 1-on-1.
Well, we've seen several times in Ope on the slot receiver where we missed a block.
Yeah.
And on a flare pass where we missed a block on a outside run. We had a lost yardage play on a pass on first downs where we threw the ball back to the Swift and lost 5 yards. Just right now, hard to put lipstick on a pig. We're just not moving the ball. Neither are they. I mean, what do they have? 2 first downs? Or we've got like
they had
3.
a good first drive.
I mean, we have 3 first downs. What do we got?
Let me look it up real quick.
I think one of the frustrating things is that in recent years, and even the beginning of this year, we were kind of used to seeing Georgia's offensive line dictate a game. and open up everything, force the defense to kind of play on their heels. And we haven't seen that kind of dominance from Georgia's offensive line. Now, some of it may be injury-based. I mean, they've been beat up. But some of it, they're just not performing as well as their potential is. And I don't think that that's even questioned.
Well, you can't have that. Well, you're not going to do it on this field with the traction. You're not going to get a lot of movement. That's just the way it is. You just got to break some tackles.
Yeah, Jake Fromm is 8 of 11 for 27 yards. DeAndre Swift has 7 carries for 39 yards. I'm sorry, what were you asking earlier?
There he goes to the left. Got Zamir in there. 4-yard gain.
Jake Camarda has 4 punts for 57.5 yard average. Not great.
Got Swift in now. There you go. There you go.
That looked like an explosive play.
Shut your mouth.
You had some good perimeter blocking too here. Great job by Wilson coming back on the guy. Good job
getting to the outside.
Wolf and Simmons.
Tyler.
Now we can rock and roll here. Let's go.
That's exactly what Kirby Smart was saying. Sometimes a short run becomes an explosive run with perimeter and wide receiver blocking.
Right.
It's not always your front guys that have to make the blocks to give you an explosive play.
This is a really tight formation here. We got everybody in there, and they got about 12 guys on the line of scrimmage. It'll be hard to make any yards on this play.
Yeah. It'll be harder when you have a snap that is not caught.
See, coaches didn't have anything to do with that.
That's James Coley's fault. Bastard.
You know, one thing that I realized last
So you're going to
week,
get 1 or 2 of those wet ball plays. Go ahead, Dayne.
well, in general, I don't think we realized how good of a center Lamont Galliard was. And I'm not saying that Trey Hill isn't, and I'm not saying he doesn't have that potential. But you rarely saw mistakes from Lamont.
Is Galliard playing for the starting up there?
He got drafted by the Cardinals. I don't know if he's
starting.
To answer your question, Kentucky has 1 first down. Georgia has 5.
There you go.
DeAndre Swift did not get touched until he was 17 yards down the field.
But they're going to the outside.
A little easier, and they're running behind the best stud there.
Yeah.
That's really good by
Charlie Warner.
Charlie and Thomas. I mean, that's pretty good.
Like you said that he wasn't touched. That's a giant hole. That's what DeAndre Swift was asking for, or mentioned on Monday in Monday's press conference, press availability. Got an injured Kentucky player. He was saying he'd like to see more to the outside. 4:07 seconds left in the second quarter. If you're watching along, 1st and 10 after a big run.
To that point, we do have the score and the quarter and the time on the screen. It may not time up exactly. That's a screen capture from just a source that we have with Georgia Dogs. So,
want to mention, take a quick moment to remind you that Saturdays are better with a crisp Bud Light. Whether you're at a tailgate or on the couch like we are, keep it crisp, Georgia fans, and please drink responsibly.
and thanks Bud Light for my water bottle.
Yeah.
This is water.
Sure it is. Bud Light is one of our sponsors for the show. That is one of our favorite beers. Always has been. I did not realize this, but it is an American light lager that's been around since 1982. I did not realize that. So, and for good reason. It's very crisp, refreshing, and pairs great with tailgate food. Keep it crisp, dog fans. Drink Bud Light. Enjoy it responsibly. Don't do anything stupid. I know you're not happy with the offense right now. All they do seem to be clicking pretty well. Don't do anything stupid. If you need if you need a cab, call me. I'll be sure you get home. You know.
Coach Alec Birch tells us that Lamont is on IR.
Is that what he is?
Yeah, he's injured.
I know Cliff Kingsbury really happy with him when they first got him.
He's a smart football player. He's a good football player too. I
he-
always hate when you get that compliment that he's a good football or he's a smart football
guy.
player, and the implication is that they're not a good football player. It can be both.
Well, it's also the same. Like we talk about a quarterback. Well, he's a game manager. Well, hell, Drew Brees is a game manager.
Yeah.
He just happens to also make throws that can, he's.
I would say Tom Brady has managed games well.
Thank
for
you.
20 years.
And he can also win you the game. Kentucky has 44 total yards. Georgia has 116. Folks, I'm not trying to make excuses for the team. I point out when players do poorly. I told you there's certain play calls I don't like, but please understand when you talk about the weather, it's not an excuse. It's a bloody reason. There's a reason why guys have a hard time with it. There's a reason when you play in the snow, things don't work well. There's a reason when you play in a monsoon, things don't work well. There's a reason when it's 110 degrees and guys are cramping up that certain things aren't called and certain things don't work. So there's a difference between reason and excuse. We're not giving you excuses. We're giving you reasons.
It just magnified a little bit when you lose like we did last week. That makes it harder. But
It is. This is a slow offensive start.
This would be
good.
huge to get something in there, starting on with a 90-yard march. But we were really kind of free flowing there, and let's see what happens there. But they took Swift out of the game.
I'll hold up.
That's something I don't understand sometimes, but Harrian's a good back too.
Yeah. I wonder if Swift has to be taken out there. Do a little
We just
helmet
had a
tap.
timeout.
I don't know.
I will say though, I'm glad to see Harrian playing today. He was missed against South Carolina. I think there were some plays that he could have extended.
So were blocks on Kinlaw.
So we got two tight ends in the game. This could be a chance we're forced to run the counter maybe, but I don't think we will. I'll keep talking about it. But
That's a patient run
There.
because I thought that was dead in the water.
we got a flag here for holding, I think.
That's not going to help.
Maybe that's why I thought it was dead.
Yeah. Again,
Charlie gets a holding penalty, so that's
penalties, turnovers, special teams. You cannot have those. You got a good drive going. You do have a busted play on. That bad snap. You're able to overcome that. You start on your 10. Not a great place to start. You're just fighting for everything, Coach. How do you keep these guys up right now? Nothing's coming easy.
Yeah, we're gonna be all right on that part. They got too much pride. I don't like to rather see the players out there, and so we can see the formation, so we can talk about it. But
No, but they got to complain. They got to talk about coaches and such. At least they're not going back to Helinski's parents every 15 seconds. He's got a great check down.
step up, let it go.
No.
All right, still manageable here. They're going to cover you pretty good on second 19.
Yeah.
You see they're not really rushing the passer there.
Yeah.
Dr. Greg Steele says Radi, Florida, and South Carolina played in the same weather, scored 70 points.
True.
Mm-hmm.
True.
He is correct.
Maybe not the same exactly, but he's right.
It's probably a little windier, a little cooler, but it was still rainy. I didn't see Fromm look to his check down there, and 3rd and 13. I don't throwing to DeAndre Swift in the flat. I don't think you're going to get the first down off of that most of the time, but you got a better chance than what happened.
So is that play calling or is that execution?
Well, they did a good job of covering us here. Look at these
That's my
blankets. Wasn't anybody open.
No, everybody's
I mean, the only play would be to DeAndre Swift and just hope that he made a man miss.
Yeah.
And as we've been saying, with field conditions,
You know,
it's even harder to do.
You would have thought that Kentucky would have called a timeout there.
They
glad
may take it as a victory
I'm
to
glad
go into
they didn't.
halftime tied at 0.
We got all our timeouts. If we, with their team right now, it might be good to call timeout after every play if we make a good stop on first down.
Just a heads up for those watching us. We
Bring
will,
Shotty back. That's so rude.
we will probably take about a 10-minute break during halftime and then catch you on the other side. But just to give us a chance to stretch and maybe eat some ear pie, Radi to have a few seltzers, and read your comments.
Your comments are hilarious. I'm not supposed to read them out loud, and I won't. But thanks, folks, for keeping us up.
Shotty's got that Seattle team rolling.
Yep.
You know, Coach.
Josh says, why is he scared to throw the ball? There was no one to throw it to, Josh. Not on that last couple plays. Those guys recovered pretty well. You don't want him to have an interception. He's got to take care of the ball.
Timeout right here. Timeout.
As much criticism as Georgia's offense is receiving, and much of it warranted,
Yeah.
the defense needs to be praised for performance today, last week, and really all season.
Yep.
Good timeout there with a little sooner. What'd you say?
Georgia's defense is playing very well and has been. They're a talented group.
Here's what I do: try to stop them here, and then try to block a punt, and maybe get a field goal.
And to the point about, from scared to throw the ball, in that situation, he after last week with 3 interceptions, I think he's probably looking for a little more separation. It's like,
He wasn't scared to throw the ball. There wasn't anybody open.
that's what I'm saying. You could try to fire it into a guy who's tightly covered. What good is that going to do you?
Or you're not going to do it.
I think he tucked the ball and ran, and he had.
Particularly when it's raining.
Yeah.
Certainly the rain doesn't have anything to do with us playing this badly, but
No.
it definitely hurt us on the short yardage play, that's for sure,
Yeah.
when you saw it.
True freshman Dayne making an important tackle there.
Absolutely.
Horn Lake, Mississippi. I've not been there.
So Anthony says Coke is drinking rum and Coke, right?
Me? No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Radi is though.
I might do the second half.
But see, here's the thing: if you can't score on Kentucky, how the hell are you going to score on Florida or Auburn, Texas A&M?
Just like Missouri can't score on Vanderbilt.
Yeah. The question is, he should throw them open. Can Jake Fromm throw the guys open?
Yeah, he can do that.
I mean, Jake can throw to a spot, but the guy's got to get there too.
Yeah.
This is going to be a quarterback run.
It's a 3rd and 3. Georgia's line shifts to its left.
44 seconds left.
They made it.
Oh, wow. That was a load for Monty Rice's tackle right there. Rodriguez came through determined. These guys are coated in grass, dirt, sweat, blood, rain. That's just a miserable game.
In a game like this that's so nasty, Coach, what's the halftime like? Like, what's that locker room? I mean, do people?
Well, you're just going to go in there and talk to them about, first of all, put on some dry clothes. Then you're going to go over what they're doing defensively, their fronts. Receivers are going to talk to them about what they think they might can run on these different guys. And reassess where we are in the game and what the whole situation is.
Chad's got a good question. Says, Coach, I get the not getting open parts, but are there no advantageous matchups, i.e. play calling, that we could be looking to exploit?
Yeah, hey, in all defense, of everybody, you should have the advantage as a receiver on a wet field because you know where you're going and the defender doesn't. So, whether it's a slot receiver working on the safety or whether it's the tight end working on the free safety, it doesn't make any difference who it is. You should be able to get open on a wet field. I've talked about that probably too much, but realistically, we just hadn't had anything work for us much except for a couple runs to the outside, and really perplexing because we definitely got the ability to do that. We saw South Carolina run up and down the field on Kentucky. So I think probably a little bit of shock as far as I'm concerned, as far as not being able to knock them off the ball any better than this.
Yeah, I haven't seen a ton of movements.
How about Illinois beating Wisconsin today?
Man.
Holy smoke. I didn't even know that. Did you know that?
Yeah. No, I was told quite succinctly that top 10 teams don't lose to 31-point underdogs or 21-point underdogs for that matter. That never happens in college football.
Tony Clifton asked, "Is it raining in Tuscaloosa?" I don't think it matters.
Yeah.
Did we get the first kickoff for today? I don't think we've kicked off yet.
I think they get the ball at the end. Yeah.
That's good for us.
So it's halftime. Georgia, Kentucky tied at 0, and
Kentucky doesn't have 100 yards, do they?
Roddy, you want to give us a stat check?
Kentucky has 52 yards. Georgia has 123. Kentucky has 2 first downs. Georgia has 6. Georgia's had the ball 18 minutes to Kentucky's 11. So, yeah, Georgia's killing them there.
So at this pace, if Georgia can put points on the board, Georgia should win, quite frankly.
But that's a huge freaking question.
Yeah.
This again,
and I think that's the shock of it, right? No one thought coming into this season that Georgia would struggle to score points the way it has.
On Kentucky. Last week against South Carolina, which, gave Florida some pretty good grief, Georgia had almost 500 yards of offense. Didn't score as many points, but it was at least moving the ball.
Yeah.
One half, 123 yards. That's just miserable.
I haven't seen as many of the penalties. I haven't seen a lot of the...
There haven't been that many.
We've had 2 big penalties, the holding penalty and the block in the back. But
the block in the back was devastating.
One bad snap, but no fumbles. But
Jake Fromm
hasn't been a turnover in the game, has it?
No, not yet. Jake Fromm is 8 of 11 for 28 yards.
To that point, Coach, though, and it's one thing that Kirby Smart said all week, as troubling as the turnovers were against South Carolina, the lack of producing turnovers is also the issue, and Georgia has not been able to cause Kentucky to turn the ball over.
Right.
And this is the kind of day, the kind of game that should happen at some point, and maybe it will the second half.
They're protecting that quarterback, though, because he can't throw, so your only chance is to get fumbles.
DeAndre Swift, on a good note, 9 carries, 81 yards. That's 9 yards a carry, if I can do my math. Long of 23. So, DeAndre Swift with 81 yards in the first half. Pretty good there. Receiving is George Pickens, has 3 catches for 28 yards. Long of 22. We saw that long 22 where he got behind the corner. Was wide open.
Similar route to Demetrius Robertson last week.
Yep.
And one of the worst calls by me in the history of predicting games. Vanderbilt is going to beat Missouri. I mean,
wow.
That, to me, is not only inexplicable, it's hard to Vanderbilt over Missouri. It's something about...
So in related news, will Missouri just go ahead and accept their NCAA infractions, avoid the postseason?
Permit Cabot says, forget Lunesta or Ambien. The cure for insomnia is watching the Dogs on offense.
Oh, man.
Damn, that's just cold-blooded, man.
Hang in there. We're going to come out smoking.
Can someone tell us, Cameron says, can someone tell me what the problem is or problems are? Cameron,
I think this team is really pressing internally, psychologically. That you just can't believe it's happening to you, and they're pressing. And it's one guy not hitting on the same cylinder as the other 10. We're missing just enough. It's not clicking. Nothing's easy. It's like beating farts out of a dead mule. I mean, we just can't make things happen.
Yeah,
I don't know
but-
what it is.
And you're right. And
We're just trying so hard, and it just makes me so sad because
it's a different guy.
These kids work their butts off. They do everything. They move the ball on our defense, but they had a bad game last week, and we got the unbelievable carryover here. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like we're
South Carolina team's beating you twice.
like we're in a fog right
Yeah.
now. We're in a
And it's different guys making different things. The punt that you should have picked up and not let roll to the 10-yard line. The
Well, all those
holding
things
call,
all
the
those
block
things
in the
are
back,
magnified.
the missed block, the 4th and 1 where you come in with a new design. People say, well, Coley's predictable. Well, nobody predicted that he's going to line up for a 4th and 1 and bring in two offensive linemen to push
You're
the
not gonna
pile.
make it when your center's feet come straight back.
Yeah, and hit your quarterbacks in the knees. It's not a good look. I mean, it's not a good chance of execution there. But again, it's just one thing on each play. Nothing is coming easy.
We're going to get some good field position here in the second half and kick a couple field goals.
Again, find a way to win the second half and get to the
Yeah.
bye week and reset and build the confidence in some way or another. Because as long as you come out with a win in this game, that means you're going to Jacksonville with a chance.
Yeah.
And coming into the season, that was going to be the case as well. Get to Jacksonville with a chance and see what happens from there. The talent on this team is unquestioned. The execution right now is not there.
Honestly, I feel like they're, to use a baseball analogy, and everybody knows I'm not a big baseball guy, it feels like they're just in a hitting slump. Just feels like
defense then.
No, the defense is fine, but your offense just feels like they're just having a hard time shaking off this. How's that not a hold?
I'm taking a break.
All right, Coach.
I think it's a good time for us to do the same, Radi. Unless,
I want to let everybody know. Stay tuned. We're just going to take a quick break so we can all have a few more of these natty seltzers. Have a little dinner.
I'm going to hit you up with a quick commercial from our friends at Bud Light. And then after that, we'll flip into, it's just going to be a screen with some photos to say, hey, we'll be back.
We will be
Don't
here.
give up on us.
Yeah.
Stay on the stream. And in fact, I'll stay here in the chat room if you want to have a little text chat. I'm happy to do that with you as we take a little break here.
Yeah.
So enjoy this from our friends and sponsors, Bud Light and Natural Light Seltzer.
Plays this season. While you're cheering on your team, we're cheering on you for taking the pledge to drink responsibly and designating a driver. Thanks for being a good fan, and more importantly, thanks for making the right decision to drink responsibly. From your friends at Bud Light. Enjoy responsibly. 2019 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri. Hey sports fans, Bud Light here. Reminding all fans 21 and older to be a Bud Light good sport while enjoying all the crisp plays this season. While you're cheering on your team, we're cheering on you for taking the pledge to drink responsibly and designating a driver. Thanks for being a good fan, and more importantly, thanks for making the right decision to drink responsibly. From your friends at Bud Light. Enjoy responsibly. 2019 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Yep, go ahead.
And we are back. Thanks for letting us have a little break here on YouTube. And Kentucky gets the kickoff and returns it to about the 34-yard line. Georgia and Kentucky tied at 0. That's where we stand. So if you're watching along later, go to the second play of the third quarter right now, and you should be
Looking at
synced up.
14:54 in the third quarter, first snap. If you're watching along, we're sometimes about 20 seconds behind, if my math is correct. So if you're watching on a DVR, just pause it, count to 20, and we should be lined right up.
That's Coach Jim Donnan. This is Radi Nabulsi, the publisher of UGAsports.com. I'm Dayne Young. Radi employs me. So there you go. Do I have a title? I show up. That's all
I think you're still an intern until we figure out something better.
Okay, that works for me.
Video intern. Oh, my. There's another big tackle for Richard LeCount. He's having quite the game. Georgia's defense doing fantastic, holding these guys. Now that I say that, I just guaranteed a touchdown. But Georgia's defense is doing well. Georgia's offense is struggling. I thought an interesting fact, neither team scored. The last time Georgia was in a scoreless first half for either team was 1991 against Alabama.
Wow.
Georgia lost that game 10-0.
I won't tell you how old I was. I was alive, but I won't tell you how old I was.
Oh. That.
Showed you his ability right there to make a guy miss. That's what worries you.
And that's their third first down of the game.
Well, Kentucky's limited in throwing the ball anyway. You have the field conditions as they are. You got to expect that Kentucky's just trying to eke out first downs, kill some clock, keep Georgia's offense on the sideline. I would think Kentucky's going to play really conservative offensively here.
Well, that's all they can do. They can't throw the ball except bubble screens. And
It hasn't stopped them from spreading the field, but they're just trying to isolate some
quarterback
matchups.
draw there.
Wow, that's a first down. With pretty much one primary blocker in front of him, 83, the tight end.
Well, they went to an open set there, so we had to cover everybody, and then they pulled the guard around, and he just followed him.
Yep.
Good adjustment, coming out and running the quarterback.
That's their best option. Shout out to Your Pie for all the great eats. 70 different locations, 70 plus locations throughout the country. YourPie.com where you can get a great pizza. Thanks for our mid-game snack. So 4 plays, 3 first downs.
And all 3 are different plays. That right there was a read play off the outside zone, and we widened because they had hurt us on first down, and he just kept it. We just got to sell the ranch on this guy here. Don't get him a field goal.
When he's doing that, how do you adjust the defense now when the guy, they're obviously just going to run him to death?
Just got to be careful about over pursuing on that outside play and be under control on this guy. He cuts back against the grain. He got good quickness. Probably going to give it here.
Yeah. God, you've seen this game before.
I mean, you can tell by the alignment. That's a really good play inside there by Monty Rice. No, I mean, I think that was
Justin Young was in there too. Again.
Nakobe Dean.
Huh?
You know, if you can keep them in third and long or third and medium, you got to like your chances.
If we'll play the quarterback draw. They're in field goal range, but
On a wet field, wet football, it's still being long, a difficult field goal at least.
But you don't like the fact that on their first possession, they're on your 30-yard line. Second 9, 11:50, 11:49, 11:48, 11:47. Little option. Justin Young and Monty Rice sniffed that out. Quay Walker right there to help. Devontae Wyatt also in on the tackle.
I was about to say, I've kind of seen that fake option pitch a few times. I think that was more of a miscommunication there. You saw them
well, what they
scrambling at the
do
line.
now,
the rain
Dayne, is
comes
they
down.
have it's pelting up there. What they do is they get you to think they're going to run the inside zone, so you'll take a couple steps, and then they just run a really poor fake on it and then go out and run the speed option.
Yeah.
But you could be right. It was a miscommunication, too. But that's a new play that people are running.
The first time I saw it
This
was
is a
Dan Mullen
quarterback
in
draw. Watch the
Florida.
left guard pull around here. We knew it was coming. They still made it. Hopefully it's holding on them.
Yeah.
You know, one thing my dad used to say.
You don't have to pull if you hold.
My dad's a lifelong Georgia fan.
Biscuit Bill.
And one thing he would not have liked about the end of this play is that Justin Young did not get a good lick, a good tackle on Lynn Bowden.
Yeah.
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 My dad would say at least make him remember it. Shout out, Dad.
Dad's right.
That penalty there might have taken him out of field goal range.
10 minutes and 47 seconds.
What he's doing over there is looking to the sideline. They got plenty of time on the clock, and they're going to the alternative play. They're probably going to try to run the fake up in here and let him keep it to the outside. No, he's going deep. Good cover there by Daniels.
Yep.
I just always get
This is where you make your money there, Coach Stoops. You going to punt it or you going to try the long field goal?
I get so nervous when the ball's in the air that long, but a defensive back is not patient enough and will get a pass interference penalty. So that's
we've had some of those this year. Last week particularly, we had by J.R. Reed. He's going to punt it.
So I thought Campbell would be back, but we keep seeing DJ Daniel in there. So Georgia's still not back up to speed on his...
If he's got turf toe with this kind of turf out there, he'd be very hard to play. You can't plan anyhow, and then you got a turf toe. Please fair catch it. Please fair catch it. Well, at least it rolled out of bounds.
13-yard line.
Kirby's telling him how to play the quarterback there. All right, let's see what we got coming out here. The first formation will tell you what our thinking is. We first of all are going to take a break here. Why don't you give us a good little set here on?
I want to mention one of our other sponsors is fanplans.com. Now, we know that you road dogs, the folks that actually go to games, and we see you because we go to games as well. I know some of you are Hilton members, some of you are Marriott members, some of you have everyone stays in La Quinta every time. I get it. But if you want a really good hotel room, a good deal, go to fanplans.com. These folks, they set up blocks in these hotels. They're all people in the hotel industry. And they're doing this with, Notre Dame, Michigan, a bunch of other teams. You look at the game you want to go to, like say the Georgia-Florida game, which will determine probably who's going to win the East. You go to that one and you're like, don't want to stay at Jack's Beach, don't want to stay downtown, don't want to stay, north of the city, south of the city. They work with hotels like the Omni Hotel, and they get this huge batch of rooms cheap. They have great deals on the rooms. So if you get a chance, go to fanplans.com and look at their deals for hotel rooms. I mean, the stuff that we did in Knoxville and Nashville, the deals we got. Look, we travel to every Georgia away game, and we're saving money with fanplans.com. You can do it too. So go to fanplans.com and save yourself some cash.
That was a nice setup in Nashville.
That was
that was a good time.
That was I mean, great hotel rooms, a lot cheaper than what you pay for. I mean, you could pay to stay at Motel 6, for the same amount of money you can stay at a Hilton or a DoubleTree or an Omni, and the deals are just ridiculous. Because they are hotel people. They call them up and say, hey, we want 60 rooms. Give us a rate. And then they say that's not good enough. Let's knock it down. And trust me, you're going to get a great deal.
Let's also give a shout out to Southeastern Mortgage Solutions. You see their logo on the bottom of our screen along with Natural Light Seltzer. So thank you both for supporting our watch along party, which if Georgia finds a way to lose this game, please don't blame us, even though I expect you will, because the two games that we would have.
No, the reason Georgia lost last week is because one of our readers bought a new shirt and he wore it to the game.
Come on.
That shirt has been burned. So
it has been burned.
It has been burned.
Good.
Apparently, so is Georgia's playbook on this first half.
Here's where we go. We're coming back with some serious big plays in the second half.
All right, two tight ends
DeAndre
on the
Swift
right.
averaging more than 6 yards a carry.
9 yards a carry.
Oh, wow.
9 yards, 9 carries, 81 yards, 9 yards a rush, and he still didn't score. How the hell is that?
Here's the counter. Did you see us pull those two guys?
I missed it. See, I don't see what you see, Coach.
We actually pulled, but he didn't go wide enough.
Yeah, I saw that, and I saw Charlie Warner not really find someone to block quick enough. He was kind of in no man's man a
They
little
had
bit.
it. Got a little bit too quick developing there.
But that's a good point, though, Coach, that some of the concept changes. Some of
Well,
the
what you got to do, though, they're trying to get some down blocks there because it's hard to get leverage on a guy coming off and sustain your blocks there. So they're really playing people close to the line on us there.
Yeah.
Ben Cleveland.
Ben
just missed
Cleveland.
the guy.
Yep.
yeah. Didn't Kirby say last week that Ben Cleveland's been playing banged up as well? I mean, virtually the entire offensive line has been right now.
Everyone's had some rough days. Oh, well. Sorry, Coach.
That's too bad. Big down right here. Come on.
Harrigan on the field.
Ben pulled to the left and just didn't hit his guy.
That's going to draw some boos from the crowd. There they
Hit
are.
him from the backside.
See,
Right there, we blocked the heck out of him on the strong side, and Isaiah let the guy penetrate. 22 comes in from the backside, and that's why you got to
Looked
slow
like
him
Cleveland
down.
got tripped up again as well.
Yeah, Ben got knocked to the ground. He tripped over somebody. Not a good look.
Be big punt here, please.
Good protection there. Kentucky brought a guy.
Drop it.
And he
Right
did.
there.
I don't think Tyler was able to get there. I think Kentucky has it.
That's what you need.
He's fighting for it in there. Kentucky does have
Yeah,
the
he
football.
had it. Tyler gave it a game effort landing in there trying to fight with Nichols.
Good
pulling
example
away.
how not to catch a punt.
Yeah.
Hands over your head there. You just never catch a punt like that. Great job by
Look at the Kobe
Dean.
Dean down there. And see, Tyler's trying to fight it away from him, but
Not surprised to see Charlie Warner just throw himself in a. Have no idea where the ball is in there and just throw yourself in the pile. That's kind of his personality.
We handled that field position pretty good, though, that they didn't get down there for a field goal. That penalty helped us. Now we just got to get a stop here and just fighting for our lives right now.
yeah.
There's a lot of criticism about Georgia's offensive line in our chat here on YouTube, and I understand it. Based on the talent that we know that they have, they're not performing to that level.
Yeah, well, you had different guys pulling on that sit on 3 downs or 2?
Yeah, or
At
two.
least 2
The
of them.
last play when Ben pulled, it was just more of a zone step, and he pulled and he missed the guy. But it's just they're ganged up. They got more guys than we can block for one thing, and then we're not blocking them on top of that.
Yeah.
So when you don't get a lot of movement, it's just and you don't have the threat of the quarterback run like they do. So the backside hit us that one time.
Yeah.
The guy's not worried about Fromm keeping it.
Well, Coach, I think
It might just go in there with Cook on the Wildcat and see if he keep it one
Yeah,
time.
we actually had one of our commenters said, "Hey, on that right before the half, Georgia should have gone Wildcat." And I'm like, "Yeah, maybe." Russell says this is painful.
It's what did he say? It's painful.
So this is painful. Ty says, "How long are y'all behind the TV?" I think we're about 20 seconds. Ty, just give it about 20 seconds. Pause it, and then we should be caught right up with them. Did the Kentucky player establish himself back in bounds before recovering the fumble?
I believe he did. Yeah. I don't think that was in question there.
I think he had it in and then rolled out.
So, Coach, I think fans would say if Kentucky has more players in the box for Georgia to block, then wouldn't it make sense that Georgia would have matchups down the field that would be available?
Exactly. If you can throw the ball.
So then I guess that's the
We're
question.
having a hard time throwing the ball in this rain.
Yeah.
Still on the radio here. What you got? Yeah. Hey, what you talk to Nelson? Right, it's a tough deal. Right. Well, the field's hurting us a little bit too, but
8:09
right.
in the third quarter.
the
First and
quarterback
10.
is, that's for sure. I got to get back on here. Thanks for calling.
Was that Kirby?
Yeah.
Malik Herring chase him down. Oh, Ty Crowder almost with a big play.
You know, I'm seeing a lot of the motion, the testing of the eye discipline. Kentucky's they have a lot of window dressing, is what they would say around Auburn circles right now, right? Where you do a lot of things, but typically it's going to be one or two options here.
Well,
I think Lynn Bowden's
so
keeping the ball.
Your quarterback's so limited as far as throwing the ball that they're trying to just create some running lanes for him. You know, that's the whole point.
Mm-hmm.
We got to make them punt here. Get the ball on about the 35 or something. Something happened in the kicking game.
I gotta wonder where Georgia's average start this game. They haven't had a short field yet.
We haven't been on that side of the 50.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that is impressive about Lynn Bowden, other than his just athleticism, the fact that he has command of an offense at all and can receive different play calls from the sideline.
Yeah, he's doing a good job of that.
That's really difficult to do when you're not trained to do that year round.
Yeah.
That shows you're a really good football player.
Chet says our only hope is to squeak out a win tonight and pray that you can figure out something before Florida. That sounds familiar.
Get to the bye week.
We're going to get a win.
Now, I don't think style points are going to happen at this point. And look, in football, style points don't matter.
I would like
wins do.
competency points at this point.
Yeah.
I'd just like
You
to
got
say
to
something.
rush on him. You can hold him.
Yeah. There's the
yeah.
flag. That's the on Malik Herring.
Yeah.
Got pushed to the ground. So that should set up a long distance for a first down. Hey, shout out to Atlanta United for a win today. Just saw that on the bottom line. So some football being played. And they actually have outscored Georgia, if we're honest. 1-0.
Yeah. Our buddy Chris Barnett, former offensive lineman, says, I've written and deleted at least 12 tweets today.
With a Michael Scott meme. Thanks, Chris. One of
That's
my
okay.
favorite guests we had on the Dog Days podcast
Yes.
in the off season. That'll come back December, January, somewhere.
What
in
was
there.
that penalty then? Holding or?
Yeah, it was holding on.
The guy that tackled.
Malik Herring got pushed to the ground.
They might be able to go
Third
the whole
and
game
15.
without
Now,
completing
now
it.
Alex says our defense can't tackle for crap. I don't think that's true considering Kentucky does not have that many yards.
That's a pretty good runner, though. I mean, we missed a couple of tackles.
Yeah, they have been. Well, they're going high again. Trying to tackle him around the shoulders. You got to flip this guy.
So much air under these passes. Yeah, I'll give Charlton Warren some credit for having his DBs ready to play some patient football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
DeAndre Swift with 11 carries for 85 yards.
Kirby telling Devon Wilson not to jump a guy. All right, if you've ever done it,
Catch the football.
I don't think they've completed a pass, have
they
they?
haven't. There's a black cat punt.
Well,
Here we
Roddy,
go.
I will tell you that doesn't always
Here's
matter.
where we go. We got to get the ball on their
That's
side.
exactly what you said. Kentucky's 0 for 7 passing. So
It's always a good time to remind you that Georgia Southern did once beat Florida without completing a pass.
yeah. Man. So not exactly what Georgia fans are hoping. We're hoping for a rebound from that South Carolina game. A lot of people, myself included, thought Georgia would come out at least, with a chip on their shoulder, trying to compensate for a lackluster performance against South Carolina, a loss to a team that you were a 21-point favorite over. Here another 20-point favorite, and the weather is foul. It's not all the weather. You got missed blocks. You have poor execution, some questionable play calling. I mean, but again, if the execution doesn't go well, then lack of first downs. Why isn't this guy getting the ball? Wasn't this guy getting the ball? Wasn't this guy getting the ball? Well, when you're going 4 and out, 3 and out, you just don't have enough opportunities to give everybody the ball. So not exactly the game we were hoping to see today, and not one that gives you a hell of a lot of faith when you're looking at Florida and Auburn and Texas A&M.
You can't worry about those yet, though. I mean, you're right. You can't say, what are we going to do about that? We just got to find a way.
Let's say you pull this game out and you win 21-0, you're still going to be worried like
we're not going to trade these guys, though. We're going to be okay. I mean, I think we're just not as talented as we need to be in certain areas right now. A wide receiver on a wet field was not a great touch passer there to throw the ball in there. So we're just going to have to
just pray it doesn't rain in Jacksonville.
This is what I would say right here. You got the ball on their side of the 50. I would run it 3 straight downs, come hell or high water right here, and see if you can make a first down.
Well, that's too predictable, Coach.
I don't care. I mean, don't even take a chance on throwing the ball on the wet field. That's what I would do right here.
I mean, if we're pretty confident that 7 points wins the game based on the way Georgia's defense plays.
3 points.
Well, then I would run the football 4 straight times. Unless it gets you in easy field goal range. I understand what you're saying. Amari Carmichael asked, how is this affecting recruiting? Doesn't matter right now, if we're honest. Recruiting's wonderful. Does not matter right now.
We got some good recruits in here. I know we got one kid from Miami in there, Xavier Henderson.
Well, I can tell you a story about when.
Let's see where the ball is right here. Now
If you're watching along, 6:31 on the game clock, 3rd quarter.
Give it to Swift.
Georgia's at the 39-yard line, 1st and 10.
He's going to run behind his tight end.
Here's the blocking. That was better. Much better.
Touchdown. Guarantee it.
Radi, would you call that play explosive?
That would be an explosive play. Who the hell called a run play on 1st down? What a stupid idea.
And
no one
down.
should ever run the ball because it's predictable.
39-yard touchdown run. Georgia's on the board.
Stupid play.
And really, it was a good adjustment at halftime for as our best field position. We were down, backed up before, but we've only run like 3 plays prior to this, haven't we? Or 6, I mean.
Good block from Eli Wolf. Good interior blocking.
You got to give it to your horse.
Was that Isaiah Wilson coming around the edge? Did he pull? That couldn't have been.
Running back.
I just saw I saw something that looked 70, but not 71. Maybe that was Cade Mays or something. I'll go back.
That was the Alka-Seltzer play of the day.
Hey, Alka-Seltzer, sponsor our show.
No, relief, man.
From a game perspective,
let's see this pure zone.
Yeah,
great job there by Mays coming on out here.
Yeah,
Cade Mays
that's what I wasn't sure it was 77 or 79. But
and great broken
that
tackle.
Should have been a tackle right there. That spin move, at speed. You see these guys run that spin move inside in the backfield. Okay, but you do that at a dead run, that's badass. So that puts him over 100 yards for the game.
124 for 12.
That's only 10 yards to carry. And that's one of our commenters. I apologize, I can't remember who said it. He said, how is it that he has 9 carries for 81 yards? He's averaging 9 yards a carry in the first half, and Georgia still has 0 points.
Because there weren't anything back to back.
Yeah, I know.
There's a lot of different.
But that was a question that was asked. And
that was a good question.
There it is. I mean, if he's averaging 9, he can likely continue doing so.
Yeah, we just been in a little bit of a funk, and it's not going to be.
Yeah, and you get your leaders to get you out of that funk. You get your Jake Fromms, your J.R. Reeds, your Andrew Thomases.
The first kick, he didn't look like he hit it very good, and we didn't get it very deep. Let's see what happens here. Maybe the rain's holding it up.
If he's kicking like he normally is, it'll go to the left. Yeah, you're right.
I think that shows you.
It seems intentional, right?
We got a fair kick. I don't know if it is, and I don't know why it would be.
Sometimes they do ask him to kick it short, because they think they can get him inside the 25.
They fair caught it. All right, Kirby, Lanning, I would be looking for some hockey here.
Hockey.
Another word for SH. Some plays that are not conventional.
Some gadgets.
Like reverse. They like to throw the backward pass where to throw the ball backward and then throw the double pass to the quarterback.
I mean, to that point, Georgia's score puts Kentucky in a very uncomfortable position where they've got to get some chunk plays at some point.
Kicking game set that up for us with that poor kick by them. No question. You know what?
Yeah, you're absolutely. Well, it's the first time Georgia had the ball across the 50, right?
Yeah. And we played it patiently a couple times. I mean, the play calling was conservative there, but we played field position football there at the end of the first half for sure. Let's see what happens here now, formation-wise.
Going banjo.
You got to figure that, it's like Dayne said, this team's looking at their chances are fading a little bit.
Jermaine Johnson to keep
Take him, let
backside,
him keep it. Don't knock him the other way.
Let go.
That kid's getting it out now.
Guess who was the first there? Tay Crowder.
Yep.
You know, just a 2-star fifth-year senior former running back. Pretty common story.
But to be fair, I mean, he's a hell of a player, but you know, everyone's like, well, we're one of the most talented teams in the country. But you also got some guys like Tay Crowder, Derek Stokes, and guys who have been kind of converted into their spots. So the people that say Kirby's only a recruiter, he's also coached these kids up.
We got Grant in
But
there.
you got some kids coming behind him. They're going to be pretty good. Yeah.
We got Grant in
Look
there.
at Walter Grant going out in coverage on that tight end.
Well, he's playing star right now because they're playing the run.
Yeah.
It's another quarterback.
I don't care how many stars he had. I covered Tay Crowder in high school.
They had to call timeout.
Yes, he can.
They had to call timeout.
When Tay Crowder was in high school, he played in kind of a zone read offense as the running back, and his quarterback was Taquan Marshall, who was at Georgia Tech the last few years running the option, and they gave West Georgia teams fits.
Yep.
And he was a tight end. Tay Crowder was a tight end in high school too, for sophomore year up to junior year. All I had to say, his story's great.
Yeah, it's a great story. So's Eric Stokes, so's Saul McKinley's, you know, J.R. Reed's. Some guys who were not highly recruited, who have become leaders on this football team, who make big plays.
I love that you mentioned Solomon Kinley because for 3 years it's been, I don't know if he's going to keep his spot.
Yeah.
And there he is out there, just being Solomon Kinley.
Yep.
Really good.
Cade Mays was supposed to take his spot. Ben Cleveland was supposed to take his spot. Jamari Sawyer was supposed to take his spot. Justin Schaefer was supposed to take his spot. Solomon McKinley is the only person taking Solomon McKinley's spot. Big shout out to because I've seen this all week, and the reason I'm bringing this up is a lot of people said Kirby is a great recruiter, but he's not a good coach because they lost South Carolina and they have like one meltdown game a year. And I'm like, well, it's not like all these other teams are going undefeated. You know, is Dabo Swinney a terrible team? A terrible coach because his team lost to Syracuse? No, you know, it happens. Trust me. Alabama lost to Ole Miss a few times they
national
shouldn't have.
championships, the guy won. I mean, he coached the defense on a national championship team.
Yeah,
he's a great technique coach. I mean, he's made some bad decisions like every coach does. But
this is like a draw, doesn't it, Coach? The way they spread the field.
Yeah, either that or they're gonna throw a screen out here to this guy.
So a tight end in motion, that would be an inside blocker.
Yep, you're right. There it is.
All right,
ball down.
Richard LeCount
Richard
got
LeCount with the Coop and score.
That's a good hit.
Holy crap! Turnover.
Georgia scores on a run play after some special teams. Good play.
I don't know if I can. I don't know
Gets the turnover on.
We need to stop the camera. There's a turnover that Georgia got.
That was a really good hit there.
Yeah, who knocked that ball loose?
Somebody with a 3 on his jersey.
JR.
Who shot JR?
What did we just say? Guys making big plays. I'll take credit for that one. Sorry, Coach.
We gonna get something else to drink?
Yes, sir.
He's going to the flask this time, the celebration flask.
All right,
I'm
like those
joking.
turnovers.
It's seltzer time.
Seltzer time.
This would be a good time to run 99 yo-yo.
Catalina Lime Mixer brought to you by Leon Farmer and the folks at Natty Light Seltzer. Please drink responsibly.
Russell Dooley says that he is listening to us exclusively for this game. Russell,
appreciate it.
thanks for that, man. We
Russell-
really do appreciate that.
Russell, you are the greatest.
Good job.
Leroy Booker says the game is over now. Finish it.
Yeah,
That's all I gotta
let's
say.
just score 21 here.
Same play again.
Look at all that room.
Don't take him out of the game, please.
Playmakers in space. However you have to do it. I think that's one of the biggest criticisms that fans have had of Georgia's offense is that it seems so confined.
Yeah. Well, you see some of those formations are all bunched up, you know, where they spread out. They were all over the place. Oh, yeah. Who you got in this Penn State-Michigan game, Coach?
I got James Franklin against Coach Kaki.
Coach Khaki.
I know a lot of people hated James Franklin when he was at Vandy, but
He's done a good job.
the man can coach.
Wouldn't go that far.
And Brian Arians in the game.
God.
Gets a couple yards. And I think that reaction from Coach, when you have a guy with a hot hand.
I like Harry, and I do, but I mean, the guy just got 56 yards on 2 carries. The ball isn't heavy.
Lather him up.
50.
I think they were pretty good Georgia running backs at that
50
one time
pretty
about the
big
ball
boiler
not
on
being heavy, right?
Yeah. You guys going to Biscuitville, too? Now I want biscuits.
Well,
We need a
we
biscuit.
don't have. We gotta get.
Eli Wolf just ran off the field the last second. Did they have too many guys on the field at first?
We don't have enough players out there.
You have
So
to
now
call
they're down to
timeout.
10.
They're going 4, 3, 2,
A lot of confusion.
1.
So Georgia
Wow.
took a timeout, some confusion on substitution, and obviously Kirby not happy about it. We're directing some of that at Eli Wolf.
But when you change your personnel, the defense gets to do theirs as well. So if you have a guy run off,
It wasn't that though. It was the fact that somebody wasn't in there that should have been for that grouping.
yeah.
And Wolf was just coming out because they don't run that play with his group. But okay, you rested Swift. Let's get him back in there.
Coach, one thing that I don't think fans ever really take into account is the sideline management. And I know that's something that's taught in high school, but it still plays in college, especially when you have so many guys on the sidelines. The organization of that, how crucial is it to make sure that
it's
everything's set?
crucial. It's crucial on your substitutions. You practice it every week. You practice it on Thursdays. And you talk about if we're going from this group to this group, who comes in, who comes out.
That's why players have to remain invested in what's going on in the game at all
Exactly.
times.
Stay in the game, even if you're not in there. So if you do go, you know what's going on.
I hope fans do see that, we hear a lot of times, why doesn't Georgia use their tight ends like they used to? Charlie Warner's out here fighting.
Yeah,
I'm
he
not
is.
saying he's being successful all the time.
He's had good plays and bad plays. Trying to go fast. There's your first down. Yeah, what do you got against Harry? And he's doing well.
I got nothing against him.
Isaiah Wilson
Yeah.
came
Right,
off of this
yeah.
with he was pumped up after this play because he knew
Yeah.
how much he just dominated his block.
My point on
No,
that
you-
was
you're-
the fact the
you're-
guy got 50 yards and 2 carries and he hasn't touched it since.
No, you're dead. Last week, I think he touched the ball once in the third quarter.
And we've changed the offensive line again.
Cleveland.
Kentley in and Ben's in. Doing some subbing. There you go. Good job. We got that
Touchdown,
edge covered.
Georgia.
I told you he was better than DeAndre Swift.
But what did Coach say a few minutes ago? He said, "Run the ball every down because they can't stop you."
And I said
And
that,
I think they've thrown
and
it
I said that
since.
would be predictable.
The reason I say
they scored
that
14
is because,
points and-
because we're not getting anything in the passing game
Right.
because of the field and everything. Just try to get some ties and outrun these guys.
Yeah.
I mean,
And you were talking about outrunning him to the edge.
yeah.
And we had the guy who said, hey, why not run to the field side instead of the boundary? And that's exactly what they did. He had enough room to beat him to the edge, just like you said, Coach. It's almost like you've done this once or twice.
We might get to do this again one week if we win this game. We get to go on. I mean, how about Kansas beating Texas right now?
What?
He said, "Right now." It is second quarter, but still.
I've had a lot of these. I didn't know it had that many.
Yeah, it's 2025.
You know,
Yeah.
the thing about this game is you had to reach deep because they've been in the funk like I talked at halftime, but it's still, I mean, we got some areas that are just perplexing, but the weather is a little perplexing too on the passing game, but
I would say this, though.
Florida doesn't have that defense to write home about like everybody's talking about either, so.
This half and the way that Georgia has responded in the running game, on special teams, getting the turnover on defense.
Total team.
It's a total team effort, and it may be enough to kind of right the ship heading into the bye week with some good vibes to build on. What Georgia did not need was another 2 weeks now of just hearing of how bad the offense is or how the defense can't get
Trust me, they're still going to hear it.
No, but they're going to hear it internally.
They don't hear it like we do, but of course our show's going to be inundated with it. But I thought I showed some pretty good confidence in hanging in there with our guys.
Yeah, you did.
Because I know how hard these kids work. We got to get this guy down. I knew that was going to happen right there. We hadn't covered a kick all year. We finally have to cover one. The guy gets 60 yards. There's
a 15-yard penalty. Should be. He just spiked the ball.
That right there is what a good team should not let happen to them. You got them by the throat. Now you let them get a kick return. This is more first downs than they've had all night right here.
Yeah, it is.
That's like 6 first downs, isn't it?
Yep.
Gee,
25-20.
Look, awful situation, but Rodrigo getting in there, not afraid. Do what you have to do.
You better get him down. Golly, that's just nothing's easy.
That's what I've been saying. I said nothing's been coming easy. All of a sudden, you get some good runs, but special teams, turnovers, and penalties.
That's a good stop.
Yeah,
that's a good stop.
Who was that? Quay Walker. Quay's all biceps. I don't think he has a butt. I just think it's 2 biceps with a head in the middle. That kid is just a monster. Great run stopper there. Good future for that kid.
This is a testament to Georgia's depth at that position. That's something that the coaches have really worked on.
Yeah. Well, it's tough. I mean, you lose a Buckers Award
winner. We're not playing
press
press coverage on these guys because we don't want them to go deep on us, and we want to support the run.
Oh,
terrible tackle.
Yeah. Careful.
The point I'm saying there is if you play press coverage, the guy doesn't have to block you. He just runs you off, okay? But if you're playing corner, a sink corner, you can read the run and come up and tackle. So that's a good adjustment. Hopefully it's another penalty on them for holding.
I think it's a face mask. Yep.
Junior college player, just getting used to playing in this area. Daniels. Largy got caught inside.
Monty
Did
Rice,
I say his name right?
Yep. Ojulari.
Ojulari got caught inside.
Yep.
Got to contain.
And then Reed missed him.
Boy, you'd stop them all night, and they come down here with 1 kick return, and now
with momentum.
Our only chance here is a fumble because they're going to run 4 plays here. I'm talking about they're going to go for it on 4th down.
Absolutely. Down 2 scores.
Quarterback keep. Should have kept it.
I see that Mike Thornton in there and Wyatt. Wyatt's a hell of a story, too.
I mean, Coach, the odds are really low that Kentucky's going to try to test Georgia with anything passing here, right? So wouldn't you just stack the box as
that play
aggressive as you
stinks,
can?
don't you see that signal?
Yeah.
There's that stink signal.
That's an interesting formation.
Actually throwing it here.
You think?
They
Or
kind
is
of
it
faked the throw. Oh, my God. That should have been a touchdown for Kentucky.
somebody got toasted.
I mean, that should have been a touchdown for
Yeah.
sure.
Nobody on him.
It's hard to jump up in there and kick the ball on the kid.
He kicked it out of his own hands.
But I feel sorry for the kid, but I'm glad it happened. But
Yep.
You want to tell us about
we
some
got a
interest
chance.
I do. I don't want.
We got a chance of going, at least setting the national record for least yardage passing in a game because nobody's ever had less than 0, have they?
That's that. 0 for 8.
You know,
0
when
yards.
you got to. This is like Halloween today. Seriously, you got Illinois beat Wisconsin and Vanderbilt beat Missouri,
And Georgia Tech won a game, in a conference game.
and Georgia beat Tech, beat Miami. Which I don't pull for Tech much, but it helps our recruiting
Yeah.
when they lose. When those Miami kids see what's going on, but.
Yeah, there's James Coley loves those kids out of Miami. He has a great connection to them, and I know a lot of folks are not happy with his play calling, although he's starting to put some points on the board. You want him on your staff when he's recruiting out of Miami and pulling the kids like Tyson Campbell and guys like
Good
that.
coach. He's a good coach.
Tyreek Stevenson.
Tyreek Stevens.
It's
Yeah,
just on and
Campbell,
on and on.
Stevenson, Devod Wilson. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Give me kids out of Plantation and American Heritage all day long.
Also, where did Lawrence Cager come from?
I don't know.
Who did he know?
Yeah, who did he know? Who did that work out? Quick note, interest rates are at historical lows, and they will not last forever. So Monday when you get a chance, I want you to call our friends over at Southeastern Mortgage Solutions, NMLS number 170525, Georgia Residential Licensee 17087. Look, if you want to get a loan right now and you don't wait to call them, hit them up on 123getloan.com.
Oh, that's an easy website.
123getloan.com.
123getloan.com.
Right. See if a refinance makes sense for you. Pull out some cash, consolidate your first and second mortgage, lower your monthly payment, or best of all, shorten the term of your loan. I talked about this, in the first half. If you got one of these 30-year loans and you're in year 3, year 4, you can knock this down to a 20, a 15, and not pay a whole lot more. Especially, if the interest rates are a lot lower, you can get almost half, cut off 5 years, 10 years, and almost pay the same amount each month. And the most important thing I want you folks to remember, in a lot of these cases, they will help you with the closing costs. So, I'm not saying all of them, but in many cases, Southeastern Mortgage Solutions will pay all of your closing costs. So, they will help you out. And if it doesn't make sense for you, they're going to tell you that. They're not, these are Georgia fans. They're one of the, if not the biggest mortgage company in the state. The last thing they want to do is treat you wrong. They're going to take good care of you. So, hit up our friends at Southeastern Mortgage, or if you don't want to call them, just go to 123getloan.com and let them take care of you. It wasn't too long ago I paid off my house. It took us a lot longer than it should have. The interest rates that are out there now, you folks need to jump on a deal. The interest rates are fantastic, but they're not going to stay that way. If anybody knows the way the interest rates bounce up and down, it's these guys. So reach out to our friends at Southeastern Mortgage. Again, they're Georgia people. So hit them up.
123getloan.com.
And again, try that Natty Light Seltzer. Send me a picture if you're drinking it.
You got any pictures of that yet?
I haven't looked recently, but that's Catalina lime mixer, cherry and lime together.
All right, we're back in action. 3rd and goal for Kentucky. First play of the fourth quarter.
Fourth quarter.
This is a true sprint out to the right.
Yeah, it's going to go out to the field side. It's got an extra blocker over there now.
Should test Monty Rice coming to his left. Kept him off.
Oh.
Got him scrambling. Ojolari all over it.
Oh, he almost got it.
And Bowden's got ice in his veins. He is.
They're going to
He's
try a
scared.
field goal. Watch your fake.
It almost seems like when they're within a couple feet of tackling him, they hold up just because they're worried he's going to do something else.
Well, you don't need a 15-yard penalty for.
Yeah, that's a good point. That would explain that a little bit of hesitation.
Actually, they're going to go for it.
Who's the spy on this play?
James Bond. Number 7.
30. I think they'll put him in. Tay Crowder.
They're not going to quarterback draw here. They got to call timeout there because you didn't have the play in there.
Yeah.
That's not his coat.
The coaches,
Yeah, that's right. That is not his coat.
the coaches scowl after calling a timeout that they didn't want to call.
Is
That's
the
a- that's
best
a-
scowl. It's not as bad as it's not as good as the why'd you hold on our 39-yard TD bomb that's being called back scowl. But that's more of a grimace slash vein popping out.
What I like about the scowl is that there's no one for them to fuss at. In particular, I mean, on the sideline once they get there, but they're kind of waiting for them to get back,
Yeah.
So they're just yelling in the headset. Whereas when the referee's involved,
Well, it's a big play there because he probably thought they were going to kick a field goal, and then he told them to go for it. So what's good about the timeout? We've had a chance to go over everything, so let's don't get a penalty.
Yep. Brian Dodson says, Roddy, are you going to Jackson 2 weeks or are you hanging with the coach? I will be going to Jacksonville. I'll be speaking to a couple Bulldog clubs down there, but we'll have a much better guy sitting here who knows football a hell of a lot better than I do. So be sure to tune in 2 weeks for the live watch.
4th and goal, Kentucky on the 8-yard line.
Providing we win.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate this. Throw it out of the end zone. Attaboy.
There you go. Flag, though.
We could have held in the end zone here.
They're calling a holding, decline, Georgia's football.
All right, way to step up, dogs.
That defense saved a bad special teams play.
Yes. I think the defense was like, is reliant upon us to pull this out. And I think they felt that way since like the second drive when when they
We
bogged
need
down.
2 touchdowns to cover, right?
Yeah.
What's the line on this game, anyhow? I don't even know. 23.
It was in the low 20s last I
Yeah,
saw
I was thinking 22, 20. He started out at 25 and went down to 22.
it. Bowden gave his guy a shot.
He did.
To that point, though, Coach, a lot of fans want to see Georgia kind of step on the throat here and
Well, I
finish
think
it
they
off.
do, but you don't want to give them any field position. Keep running it, just like that.
Yep.
You can't tackle this guy. He had 59 yards on the last 3 carries.
How do you know that without looking?
He went 40, then he went 10. then he
Flag on
went
the play.
9. Face mask.
Some funny Eddie Grand comments in our chat after his offseason
What are
drama.
they saying?
Personal foul on defense,
No, what
unnecessary
are they saying
roughness.
about Eddie
I'm
Grant?
sorry.
Well, he had the offseason thing where the allegation is that his agent was using Georgia to essentially get him a pay raise. Whatever the facts are there.
We've already
If
covered
you're
that.
not a member of UGAsports.com, you don't know what really happened in that situation. If you are a member of UGAsports.com, we were all over that story and explained exactly what was going on. And if you're a member of the Kentucky media who called us liars, to hell with you, because we were dead on. We know the situation down here a whole lot better than you do. And stop arguing with us because we talked to the people involved.
Well, his age is the same as Kirby's. Jimmy Sexton, he's trying to get the guy a raise, and Kirby helped him get one.
DeAndre Swift
So
unstoppable
that's
right now.
69 yards.
He had 135 yards to begin with.
What over under if he comes in or out after this play?
Out.
What do you say, Dayne? In or out? Next
In or out,
play.
in or out. Come on.
I'm going to say in.
You wait till they go back to the screen.
I
You
was saying
cheater.
it as
You
the
cheater.
transition was coming through.
Wait till he sees him out there.
He's still in.
No, you're right. There wasn't really any pause in the play. So
The transition was
Yeah,
happening as my
you're right.
sentence was going.
Jake
right, that's
might
fair.
fake it to him and keep it here one of these times soon.
He's you're at the 45. He
Going
fakes
out.
and throws it. Jeez.
You can tell the direction a lot of these run plays, not all of them, but a lot of them where the tight end lines up. And when DeAndre Swift steps to the left side of Jake on that play, it just gives him a little bit more room on that sweep.
Well, it also gives you angle, hand the ball. That's good.
Yeah.
Just doing a little of coordinating for our post-game coverage. We have 5 guys at the stadium that are going to give you wall-to-wall coverage, what Kentucky says about Georgia, what Coach Smart says about Georgia, interviews with the players, 4 reasons why Georgia wins or loses, post-game thoughts and observations, deep dive into the stats. Another big hole.
Yeah, Georgia's offensive linemen have taken over the game, and I mean that's not discrediting the running backs.
No.
It's interwoven. It's a unit.
Well, somebody
together.
got their ass chewed at halftime because in the first half, Georgia's offensive line was not doing well. Now they're opening up giant holes.
They weren't, but they had some field position problems too.
Yeah. DeAndre Swift has 16 carries for 163 yards, Coach.
That's right. He's
I
had
think that's pretty
67 on the last 3.
10 yards a carry.
And look,
They got to get him out of there, though.
he doesn't get praise always because he's just constantly good. But Andrew Thomas, I mean,
Yeah.
he's doing what Andrew Thomas does.
And I hate to say it, but things looked a whole lot better since Solomon Kinley got in there.
Yeah.
Do you see? Would you see Andrew climb right there?
He's about 7 yards downfield.
Well, he hits the guy lined up in that was that a 4-eye technique?
Head up.
Hits him and pushes him out, and then climbs up and hits that inside linebacker. Creates the room for him to come behind. There's a lot of room there for a running back to get to.
That takes an athletic lineman to do that
Does.
successfully.
Yep.
Hey, come on, Coach. What was that?
12 men in the formation
For us?
for Georgia, yes.
Well, we got to get advantage once in a while.
They're just making sure the refs can count. That's
Yeah,
all.
Brian Harrion, 10 carries, 43 yards. That's 2 personnel grouping issues they've had. He's not going to be happy with that.
It's the only way you stop yourself. This
Permanent captain says 0 passes in the entire second half.
is going to be a draw play
Really?
right here.
That's what he says in the
Yeah,
chat.
he may be right. I don't remember one. And remember, Coach Donnan says I'd come out, I'd run it 3 times. And they've been running.
There's no reason to stop.
Yeah.
There he goes.
Coach, what is it about DeAndre Swift, especially that first move, that makes him so difficult to tackle?
Came out of the womb as a running back. The guy's just got the natural stuff.
He
He's
juked
got
the doctor.
size. He's got the, the doctor looked at him and said, look, you look like you can go to Georgia and be a running back. Seriously, the guy is a stallion. That's the first time I ever
Is
saw
it
him.
his speed to the line?
He got
Is it vision?
quickness, speed, size, gritty, tough. He just big time.
I think some of it's his balance, too. A lot of running backs can't do what he does because they get off balance if they shift that far one way or the
We
other.
got to get 3 yards here. If not, we'll kick a field goal.
Oof.
They got
You got
1.5, maybe 2.
All right, Kirby, go for it. Bad weather.
You've been running great.
It'd be a great time for Jake to keep it. I've been talking about it, but he won't.
Throw the slant.
Wonder how the weather is out there. Why don't you ask Dash?
Well, he's in a covered press box.
Yeah, but he can see it, though, can he? I mean, I know he's got glasses on. I don't know if he can. We're going to hum this one.
There's your passing play. And it's
Get
a
in front
completed
of
one
him.
on a 4th down.
Tell you, that
Clutch.
kid. Oh, no,
Don't
no,
do
no,
that,
no,
George.
no.
Don't do the throat slash.
He didn't do that, did he?
Yes, he did. And then you notice he gets tackled by or hugged by the tight end there to make sure, like, no, don't do that. Yeah.
That gets in the sight of a referee
Yeah.
that becomes an issue.
That's 15 yards back it up. That kid is just.
And look, and that's something that gets on tape.
Yeah, and
that's
look,
something
and look who's in his ear right now. Kirby Smart. Like,
but
what?
that's something that
should-
opposing
he should be.
coaches will say, hey,
Should
get in
be.
his ear.
Absolutely. Kirby's like, what the hell are you doing?
He hasn't
We
experienced the
got,
Georgia
we got
Florida.
Mays in there tight end.
Hey,
now.
here's Kyrus Jackson, too. Kyrus trying to block that big defensive edge.
You know, we,
Good job, Kyrus.
but we saw some of this last season with Tyler Simmons.
I know.
Where he would get on the edge and block big defensive ends.
Kyrus is like 98 pounds wet.
Yeah, but he's one of those Peach
He's
County
these
boys.
Peach
He will
County
fight.
boys. I love it. So they bring him in there like a tight end, and he just jacked up that
If
D.
they asked Tyreek McGee to get in there and block a defensive
he
end,
absolutely
he would do it.
would. Those kids are indestructible. Shout out to our buddy over there, Kyrus. I mean, you know he's happy to be back out there, and God, you need him right now with Lawrence Cage are out. That is a guy who can make some plays. But you got to think right now, everybody knows. I mean, Georgia knows they're running it. Demetrius Robertson's thinking, I wanted the ball a couple more times.
And get it on a sweep or something.
He can't do it tonight.
No, I can't do it tonight. You can hand it to James Cook and see what he can do. Anyway, I want to mention again our good friends over at Leon Farmer and at Leon Farmer Distributing at Kathleen, who gave me all this great Natural Light Seltzer and the Bud Lights. Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you, Leon Farmer the third. Leon Farmer the second, big sponsor of yours. I actually got
all of them. I mean,
I'm reading his book that he wrote about his family. It's fascinating. He's
talking
talking
about
about his
smart guy.
Yeah, he's talking about his dad was a apple packer for Ty Cobb.
Really?
Yeah, just fascinating family. So it's a great book. You can swing by out there. Leon Farmer, pick one up. I'm enjoying it. Do want to give them a big shout out for sponsoring. And if you would, folks, send me a picture if you're buying any of this Natural Light Seltzer. You know, the Aloha Beaches or the Catalina Lime Mixer. Send me a picture on social media. I'd greatly appreciate it.
What's that handle? What's that social media handle?
Radi Nabulsi. That's on Twitter, or send it to me at Radi at UGAsports.com. I'm not going to last week, if you weren't watching the show, when we got into overtime, I had to open up the 40 ouncer of Bud Light that we got from Champions. They sent us a 40 ouncer, and I had to tear into that one because of that overtime. But the Bud Light is great. It's a beer that we've enjoyed with pre-game, during game for years and years and years. But this seltzer, this is why I've lost. This is going to keep me the weight I've lost. This will keep it off. This is helpful, but this is better.
All right.
So you keep that one over there with you.
I think what you're saying is,
man.
as you're packing your cooler for Jacksonville, go ahead and get a few cases of.
Might as well get a couple to go down there.
I had one. I tried that Aloha Beaches for the first time, and I might have drank it in about 30 seconds. That is fantastic. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a lime guy, so the cherry and lime together, this is a wonderful one. But that does not taste like it's 133 calories. That tastes incredibly sweet.
This looks
and
like
fresh.
a 90-yard march to me.
Hey, come in right behind Kinley and Andrew Thomas. Do it again.
It deserves reiterating. That was a bold play call on that fourth down.
Well,
but it's predictable.
right
Remember,
the field. That was the outside receiver over the middle too.
Hey, where did they just run? Now I get to elbow you.
Yep.
I want to point out two things.
It doesn't
Georgia,
really matter where they run it now.
I'm just saying, I get one right out of a 4-hour broadcast. I need to point out that, hey, I got one.
Georgia's defense is on pace to pitch a shutout. One.
Yeah.
Two, the second half
If we can
could have saved Georgia's season.
If we can never cover it.
Could what?
Could have saved Georgia's season.
Oh, yeah.
Gives you hope going into Jacksonville. You get the bye week. I'm saying from a confidence perspective.
Yes,
obviously from a tangible on the points on the
it's
board.
just like when you got the yips, if you can get one good situation, get out of that one time, it builds up with you. There you go.
Well, you're seeing fight from these offensive linemen.
Yeah.
You're seeing fight in the blocking.
And the running backs. But again, that's what we weren't seeing earlier. Everything was coming. Everything, even the punts return. Look at Solomon McKinley just driving 91. Just
Trey Hill out there.
just
through the
whipping his
play.
ass.
I ain't seen some movement.
Yeah, look at Trey Hill driving that guy to trying to put him back on the bus.
When's basketball start?
The movement we didn't see on the fourth one. Yeah, they don't know those Kentucky fans. Those Kentucky fans are much more excited.
They don't want
about
to
that.
do anything.
Jamari Sawyer in there, right guard.
There we go. This is what I thought in my 3-2-1. I thought he would actually get one of the starts today. I was wrong.
We're lined up with such a good-looking group. Mesa, right tight end.
Yep.
Simmons in motion, the block in front.
There's a way to gash it.
That's a big package.
Swift wants that touchdown. You
He
see how he
does.
ran that?
Yep, he does.
Give it to him.
Hey, look, he's over there talking to Kirby. I mean, it's
Dale. He's saying,
Dale
"Don't
McGee.
take me out, Dale."
Come on. No, I want this. He did all the work on that last drive, and Harry gets the touchdown, didn't he?
Harrion did get the touchdown.
How about calling Harry a touchdown vulture? Just saying that, he did a lot of the yeoman's work.
Skill player blockers, Kyrus Jackson, I think Eli Wolf. But I don't expect too much fancy here.
Don't get hit from the backside, please.
There it is.
Second effort.
Yep.
That's 90 yards there.
I'm not sure if
On the
Pickens got
Burma
back in
Road.
the game. They may have him sit out after that gesture. Especially with the game in hand.
Just so you know, Pickens had 4 catches for 35 yards.
What we got to see here is a good kickoff coverage.
DeAndre Swift, 20 carries.
21 carries
21,
after
excuse me.
that. It's in the process of updating.
Yeah.
He's got 2 touchdowns. I think 182 yards.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good day at the office.
Swift for Heisman.
Oh, come on, man.
What?
All he needs is, I mean, you got half his body in the end zone.
While they're reviewing that, I want you to notice that Kearis Jackson's far away from the football, far away from the play.
Yeah.
Still fighting, still working, still blocking.
Yeah. Kearis is just damn happy to be out there, man. I mean, think about it. You come in, this is supposed to be your year. You get hurt the first game, and you miss 5 games after that. You know, when you come back, you are ready to. Doesn't matter if the weather's bad.
It's a long game. It really isn't. Started at 6.
So you asked about the weather out there, Coach,
Where's that?
at the stadium. Her guys who are in the stadium, one uses a word I won't repeat on the
Starts
live.
with an S. You can figure the rest out.
Yeah,
He says what?
it's
crappy.
It's crappy, yeah. But he's much nerdier word. Cold and steady rain. So yeah, just it's cold and nasty. It's. I mean, you can see.
Until Seth to watch the
and look
Punts.
right now. You can see in the end zone, all those seats are normally filled up by recruits. Those seats are empty because they're smart enough not to put the recruits out in the cold, nasty weather. They got them inside in that great new $61 million West end zone. They're warm. They're watching the game on TV. They're in the stadium though. They're getting hot dogs and hamburgers and all this good food. The Georgia hosts, the staff are talking them up. Later on, Kirby will go down there and say, "Hey, we wouldn't have had these first half troubles if you had been here." I won't tell people to.
Some meteorologist or something.
Now I will tell you.
First half troubles had a lot to do with a lot of things. But,
Yeah, a lot to do with weather, but I will say that
I'm not just saying
right after Kirby lost the national championship game, in overtime to Alabama, he was on the phone recruiting and telling some of those guys, "Look, we could have won this game if you had been here." And so we have people. There was the question popped up earlier, and I'm sorry I didn't jump on it. When people said, "How is this game affecting recruiting?" Even in a loss, you can still turn recruiting. I don't say to your advantage, but you can point out the fact that, hey, we were missing, a running back or a tight end or a wide receiver or whatever. We want you to be that guy. We wouldn't have lost this game. We have playing time available for you. So that's how you don't have to win all your games to get recruits to come to your school. Some of them want playing time more than they want you playing for a national title. They will play for a national title when they get there. That's the sell.
That's right.
I guarantee you this: the option of playing time is 100 times more appealing to a high school football player than the fact that you're 11-0 going into your last game of the season.
Yeah, unless you're playing at a horse shit school. I mean, a bad school or something.
Yeah, you're like, hey, I want. Yeah, they don't want to play at a terrible school, but it's like, if I go there, what's your depth chart look like? Am I going to get to play? I want to get 3 years at least of good tape so I can go to the NFL. And you show a kid that you got room for him or you got need for him, that is more important than your win-loss record.
And I didn't mean to be flippant when that question came up earlier, but it was still 0-0 at the time. And winning this football game was the prime
No, it is. But again,
priority.
we have
But you're recruiting 24/7.
now, and that's why we have Jake Roos. He's actually at the game. He is our recruiting writer. This guy, he and Trent Smallwood, they break a ton of recruiting news. They're the best in the business. But why do we send why do we send Jake Roos to the football games instead of just having him write recruiting stories all day at UGAsports.com? Because he goes to see who's in the stands. You know, you had a kid a running back who's committed to Georgia Tech in the stands one day. Nobody realized it. Jake did. Reached out to him, found out this kid loves Georgia. So if Georgia
You send him to football games, he goes to Las Vegas, he ends up in California, swings to Arizona, hits up D.C., and comes home.
Yeah,
out of the end zone.
That's where it needs to be. Point being, with Jake, he goes to this game, and even though those stands are empty of recruits, right behind the goalpost, he has a list of people that he saw there, you guys that came out earlier. So we will know who was at the game. That's even though the game started out really ugly, you can still turn that to your advantage in the recruiting conversation you have with these kids. And Kirby's going to talk to them.
Yeah, you don't base it on one game.
Nope.
This second half, Georgia's offense has reestablished their identity of being a brutally physical running machine. And that's something that it needed to do. It's something that when Florida looks at tape from the last two games, they're going to say, we need to load the box to find a way to stop Georgia. And it's going to open up some other opportunities in Georgia to try some things. So there's going to be an interesting chess match in that first quarter in Jacksonville if the two teams kind of feel each other out. And it's one of the things that made Pickens, with the little gesture there at the end of his first down, a little more frustrating to me, because you need to have a lot of maturity going into that game, because there's going to be jawing back and forth.
Right off the bat.
In pregame stretches.
I hate that game.
It's that atmosphere.
You don't hate the game.
I hate the Georgia-Florida game.
Well, don't go.
I got to.
You got a comfortable seat.
I got to give 2 speeches down there.
Well, just tell them you don't want to. We got a one-game winning streak.
Now I'm scared. I'm speaking to the Jacksonville Bulldog Club on Thursday, and it's me and Vince Dooley. I don't want to follow Vince Dooley. I got to make a contingent that I get to go first.
Just tell them to talk about gardening. You talk about
he would make that fascinating. Last thing
he does a great job with that.
I don't want to follow him in any way, shape, or
reason
form.
I said that. I mean, that way
I can just talk football. Yeah,
you take the gardening, I'll take the football. And if he tells you to take the gardening, you probably need to go take 2 and hit the right.
Yeah,
you might just want to get a slideshow of your best photos and just let that kind of play, and that's your speech.
Yeah. Here's my picture.
Questions there?
Here's my picture of Pollock stealing the ball away from South Carolina.
If you've got questions for Coach Donnan, let us know. Especially,
and let me know where you're watching from. We had Okinawa, Japan. We had Africa.
Is anybody at the North Pole?
If Santa Claus is watching, let us know.
Or we have anybody at like Australia?
Come on down, Radi. The water's fine.
You know what happened today? Rafa the dog got married.
Did he?
He's been dating that girl. I don't know how long they've been dating, but big wedding over there in Mallorca.
Did Manny Diaz go?
I don't know. Rafa didn't. Roger Federer didn't go. I thought he might go.
Yeah. Ty Calhoun says Grantham's probably licking his chops as much as Grantham likes to blitz when you start doing the run game. I guess strategy-wise, that's something Georgia's going to have to prepare
you just
for.
do the flea flicker like South Carolina did to him today. And
you got to tackle.
Nope.
Nakobe Dean coming in to make the tackle downfield, but Malik Herring missed an opportunity early in the play.
Just goes to show you we're playing the pass right now, and we're content to let them run it.
We do have a question, Coach Donnan. What are you telling your wide receiver coach at this point?
My wide receiver coach?
Yeah.
Don't hold. What, the fact we're not throwing the ball, or what?
I think that's what.
I think the question comes from a more broad standpoint.
You can't really throw the ball tonight, though, effectively. I mean, neither team. I mean, we got a good quarterback, but just horrendous conditions, and there's no need to throw it when you can run it like we did. We had poor field position in the first half, and we didn't do much with it when we did throw.
We got Wren Youth Football watching from Piedmont, South Carolina, right in the middle of Tigger country.
Where is he?
He's in Piedmont, South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I still can't believe Vanderbilt beat Missouri.
You know, sometimes on any given Saturday,
Wisconsin?
yeah, South Carolina last week.
This shows you how little confidence that Kentucky has that they can make any gains in downfield passing. That at this point, they're not doing it.
Yeah.
And I understand. I mean, you have a wide receiver playing quarterback, and I'm sure he can throw a little bit, but this is not high school. There are very few good quarterbacks.
I have a note for you, Coach. You'll love this. If Kentucky does not complete a pass, that'll be the first time that's happened against Georgia since 1992 against Cal State Fullerton. Do you want to know who the offensive coordinator for that Cal
Jim
State?
Chaney.
That's right. The offensive coordinator for that team, Jim Chaney. Oh,
There it
no,
is.
there it is. There's that completed offensive
How about I
pass.
need that answer?
Why did you say something, Roddy?
Because it
It's
came
your
up. It's
fault.
not. Oh my God.
Jim Chaney, how many people would have known that answer?
Yeah. I swear he watches the show.
Chaney
from
told
the
me one
future.
time he came over here when they were Cal State Fullerton.
Yep.
Ren Youth Football is also a UGA Sports subscriber. Thanks for doing that. If you're not a UGA Sports subscriber, you should be. There's so much coming your way as we
We're
prep
going to
for
be getting a
Jacksonville.
pick here any second. Pick.
Thanks, Red.
Don't let them score.
Brandon wants to know, hey, Coach, why can't we get 3 tech defensive linemen?
3 techniques.
Yep.
I promise you, wait till you see our team coming in here. Carter, we got a 44 plan that's going to be a good one that broke his wrist.
Trayvon Walker.
And we got Brinson,
Yeah.
and we're going to get Zycavius Walker. We're going to have some really good D linemen coming in on this next group. Should have thrown it left-handed, Bowden. It had a better chance there.
Well, Tay Crowder was in the backfield, but Tyler Clark also.
But that was a good question. I
Fought
tried to
really
answer
hard.
that like Jake would.
You did. That was a very good answer. You mentioned, so that's a great answer. Hey, thanks, Austin, for watching for Panama City Beach, Florida.
Panama City.
I've spoken to the Panama City Bulldog Club.
Was the sand white?
Of course. Beautiful. Everything on the Panhandle.
You should take them some natural light seltzers, some PCB.
They know how to drink
Right here,
down there.
we've got to take the quarterback here. He's the threat to run this ball. If he ever gets a snap off.
You got to make that
God
tackle, and
knows.
you didn't.
Tyreek Stevenson.
Again, tackling him around the shoulder pads is not going to work.
Nolan Smith got handled pretty well on that play. You could tell that that's something that they worked on in pass rush.
Coach, we got somebody that says we wants to know your thoughts on the Georgia-Florida game.
Can't wait. I think it's going to be. I think they're definitely going to
let's
test
hope.
our secondary, and we'll talk about it on Tuesday. But I think,
That'd be a good little quick
Yeah.
post-game wrap.
yeah, we'll do that.
Oh, I
I
don't
don't have 2-game passing stats here.
There was some confusion at the beginning of this play,
It's
just in
7.
Georgia's alignment.
It's 7 for us, Stevenson.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Stevenson came across the formation talking to another one of the defensive backs.
Devon Wilson.
Came all the way across the formation to kind
Yeah,
of
and he's
realign.
pointing to Devon Wilson as who he's
We
supposed
got
to
a
get.
lot of younger guys in there.
Yeah, you got some very young cats trying to stop him right now.
Got Hayden Reimer down there in Florida watching the live broadcast.
Nice. UGA still loves Donnan. Yes, they do. He loves them back. Oh,
Oh, don't
Don't
hit
hit
Ugga.
come on.
Ugga's protected. Get in front of him.
Charles Seiler's like, no, this ain't happening on my watch.
We're not having that Mississippi State stuff around here.
Charles will dive in front of that dog. He's a great handler. Coach D, compare Pickens and Reggie Brown.
Very similar, maybe a little bit taller Pickens than Reggie, but real slinky type guys, can really explode, got good speed. good hands. Reggie might be a little bit better runner in the open field with the ball. I haven't seen Pickens run with that for catch, but Reggie was a stallion.
He was fantastic.
Just teacher down there thought they were going to teach him a lesson because he didn't do a good job on the final, and so flunked him, and ended up flunking the course and wasn't eligible his first year there and really hurt us. It's a tough lesson for him, but that's what happens. You know, the teacher had no idea he's going to keep him from being eligible here, but
Wow.
but the kid needs to take it's his fault, but tough lesson. Him and then Darrell Robinson had to make the test score and didn't make it, and once he got here, he was a good receiver too.
Oh, yeah. Remember him. Laura says, we love Coach Donnan. Go Herd.
Who said that?
Laura Stewart Short.
Pickett.
Oh, my goodness. Come on, Daniel.
Previous 2 SEC games, Georgia's defense has given up 10 points. 1-1.
There's a picture of this guy watching it.
Oh, I love it. Thank you, sir.
Hayden was a good quarterback. Should have played college ball.
Your chat still working?
It is.
I'm
Yeah,
sure
mine is
his
disconnected.
dad's happy with Georgia Tech's win today.
John Adams watching from beautiful dry Coral Gables.
Oh, my goodness. There's a
It's jump
pick.
ball. Way to play the ball.
Offensive pass interference. No, I'm joking.
What we're going to see right here is the best formation in football. You know what that is?
Victory formation.
Good.
We're going to fake it and run around the outside.
There's a lot of people like to see a 70-yard run here,
Yeah.
particularly one that got big money.
Big money on it.
Yeah.
Can you look up what the spread was on this game?
Okay.
You know, I feel a lot better than I did about an hour and a half ago, don't you?
Yeah, I do too. Well, I do, but I'm 5 natty light
Right.
seltzers
No,
into the game.
we're not going to give you a blood alcohol test, but
Just saying. I feel like I haven't had anything. That stuff's fantastic.
good.
I'm going to take one of these cases to Florida, just letting you know.
No, you keeping it here. How are we going to be able to work all this stuff? Dayne knows how, doesn't he?
Dayne's the one that set it all up.
Well,
So, folks,
Y'all got on the air without me.
yeah, because Dayne's like, push this button, Roddy, then push this button. So that's how we got launched today.
I'm saying 23.5 for what the point spread. It depends on where your source is.
Yeah.
well, that's why that play that Crowder made up at Tennessee was so big.
Yep. Kind of wonder what that Florida-Georgia line is going to come out to be.
Bill Dormany says this is the best thing, talking about our broadcast, that I've seen since Munson radio during the TV broadcast. So he would mute the TV and listen to Larry Munson.
That's nice of him to say that.
That puts
Bill.
us in high class if we're anywhere
We're
near
not
that
anywhere
level.
near that, but
I don't think we may need some more.
Yeah, Brian Harville says the last spread I saw was 25. Brian Dodson says, Roddy, your face is red. My face is always red, dude. I'm half Arab. But no,
Face is
yeah,
red?
yeah, but I have had about 6 of these or 5 of these.
face is red, raise head. When face is pale, raise tail. That's how you figure out if somebody's sick.
Yeah.
So, face is red.
Yeah, Joe Brummel thinks the line of the Georgia-Florida game will be UGA -6.
Is that right?
Yeah. Monolithic Dog. Now, Monolithic Dog and his son have been members of UGA Sports forever. Shout out to Mono. He says he's headed to Johnny's to celebrate with their sponsor. No, but if you want to talk him into it, we'll take it.
Or if you want some pizza, your pie.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, if you're diehard, if you're looking for pizza, man, you can't beat a your pie. Walk in, have it made your way, or get the panini. We had a calabrese salad that we had some of the folks had upstairs. You can't beat the salad. Now they have custom pastas you can have made. It's just fantastic.
Coach, I do want to kind of get your perspective on, you're going into a bye week. You know what's on the other side of that bye week. As a coach, kind of is it business as usual? You're obviously seeing things that you improve on. That's what coaching is. But kind of what's that inside the locker room, inside the practice?
Well, you're coming off a win here, but you're playing your biggest rival, and both teams will be ranked in the top 10 in the country, and it's going to be a typical game where you got to. Here we are in the victory formation here. Just got to look at what work on some man routes against these Gator defense because they play a lot of pressure, and but. I think we can run the ball on them. We did last year. We've run it on Grantham every time we've ever played him. We ran it when he's at Mississippi State. So they played without two of their best players today. That's for sure. Florida did, so it hurt them. But
shout out to Cleveland, Tennessee Dog, who's watching for the first time.
Cleveland, all right. I know who that is.
Yeah.
What does he think of it?
So he loved it. Permit Captain says, I agree with that. I turned the volume down and listened to the whole game on here.
Really?
Yes, thank you, Permit Captain.
Oh.
Brian Dodson says that in his opinion, it was a hard-fought win in crappy weather. Give the game ball to the defense and DeAndre Swift.
Yes.
Right. It's a win.
I like that. Hey, that's the first home shutout since 2010. We beat the Commodores.
So that's the first home shutout.
I feel bad for picking this, assuming they were going to score 10 points on Georgia. But I figured there'd be like a short field turnover or something like that, or running quarterback. He kind of
running quarterback.
I figured he'd break free at one point.
They were
they'd have set
even
up for a
more
field goal.
one-dimensional than I expected them to be.
Yes,
and some of that's because of Georgia.
Kentucky passing two of excuse me.
Did we have
2 of
50 yards passing? I don't think so. Did we?
No, we were. Georgia was 9 of 12 for 35 yards.
Ooh.
But give that rushing number.
43 carries for 235 yards.
And that's pretty much in a half. I mean, I know he had 50, 60 yards.
How many yards did he have tonight?
DeAndre Swift had 179 yards on 21 carries.
Yeah.
2 touchdowns. Averaged 8.5 yards a carry. And you're right. A lot of that was not in the first half. That was, well, no, I take that back. He had 81 yards in the first half. So he ran for 99. Wait, is that right? No. 81? Yeah. 99 yards.
I do want to thank everyone that has been watching this show. This has been kind of a new venture for us and really been successful. We're really grateful for that.
If you want us to keep doing it, though, what we need from you is to share it with your friends. And
subscribe to your.
You subscribe to UGA Sports. Did you see the note about your breakdowns?
I did. Film don't lie, man.
Can you get them to subscribe?
One guy says he's not a member, but he loved your breakdowns on Twitter. He's thinking about subscribing just for that. I believe it was Eli.
Eli, here's the thing. Radi liked them too, and that's why he hired me.
What about you?
Honest to God, that was true.
They can subscribe on YouTube, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So first thing you need to do, you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to our page. Subscribe to the YouTube
That's
page.
free.
You'll get updates. That's free. Ton of content comes there. It's a really good source of information, I promise you. Second, as these live shows come out, share them with your friends, share them with your networks, and get more people watching this.
And they can watch it after they go home from the game, right?
They can. Anytime you want to. Sync it up with your DVR and...
But that's what helps because we like to. I mean, we have some great sponsors in Southeastern Mortgage and Natty Light Seltzer, our friends Leon Farmer. But to make it worth their time and the money, we'd like to have a lot of people watch. So if you share it, it doesn't cost you anything to hit the share button, put it on Facebook, put it on Twitter. We'd greatly appreciate it. That's all we're asking for. So. All right, let's move on to the Georgia-Florida game. Coach, who do you think will be favored in that game?
We got to be favored just based on the fact that we beat Notre Dame. Prom's played really good against Florida. They got their third team quarterback playing now, although the guy's playing really well.
And Traska's doing a pretty good job.
And, last year Prom came off a bad game and then went down to Florida and lit them up. It doesn't really make any difference who's favored. It's just it's going to be a really tough game for us to stop their passing game because it's threatened to run with so many play-action passes, So everything they do is based off some kind of what we saw tonight, but the guy can really throw. So they hurt South Carolina with that. They got an illegal play for a touchdown today. It was just a flagrant pick on the goal line, and I don't blame Muschamp for getting mad. But, South Carolina was definitely in that game. I mean, they gave up 21 points in the fourth quarter, though. I like our
major turnover in that
I like
game.
our chances just because we faced adversity. We went to the bottom of the mountain. Now we've started coming back up it. We realize that there's a lot that we got to do to establish ourselves as this year's team, and we can't talk about what happened in the past. I mean, learned a valuable lesson about taking care of the ball. We went through this whole game in a bad rainstorm without one turnover. Kicking game was
And you
really,
got a turnover.
Kicking game was good, really good tonight.
Yep.
Camargo, they got a good punter in Florida, so I still feel like I like Kirby. What's 9 or 10-0 versus Mullen?
Yeah, he's dead. I think 9-0.
So I like it.
I mean, here's where we're at. Georgia, if they beat Florida, easily in the catbird seat for the SEC East. It would take pretty catastrophic end to not have the SEC East title. Beyond that, that would put you in touch to play likely the winner of Alabama and LSU in what would be
Which would be Alabama.
most likely, I would say. But that puts you in position to find yourself to achieve the goals that you wanted before the season. We can't ask for any more than
We
that.
got a long way to go to be thinking about the national, but I think the SEC East is there for the taking this week. Missouri losing is just lower than well manure for them. It is low. That is a bad loss right there.
A good question
I
here.
think worse would have been losing to Southeast Missouri State or somebody like that.
Let's see, where is it? John Adams says, "Well, we play man-to-man on Florida."
We'll mix it up. They've got good receivers. They're tight end 84.
He's good.
It's already got me in a fetal position. That guy against LSU ripped them up, and he caught something today. I mean, that guy's a stat. What's his name? Pickett or Pickens? What's his name? 84 for Florida. Look it up. But all I know is 84.
Yep.
And this Kyle Trask is a good quarterback. I mean, he's the first guy to throw 3 touchdown passes two games in a row in a long time for Florida. And I think he threw 4 today. 2 in the fourth quarter. So, it's a bad day when the Sooner schooner tips over. Did you see that?
Yes.
I thought that would
I'm
hurt.
Glad
your
nobody's
heart,
hurt.
5-6 years out there, I never saw that thing ever hit the dirt.
84 is Kyle Pitts, 6'6", 230.
What's his last name?
Pitts, P-I-T-T-S.
I knew it was with a P.
From Philadelphia. DeAndre Joseph probably knows him.
Philadelphia, Mississippi, or Philadelphia, PA?
PA.
There's got to be some Benjamins involved with that one.
A lot of folks on their live chat here pointing out because the Georgia game rolled right into the Alabama game, and everyone's pointing out how Alabama is copying Georgia's light
That's
show.
wrong. They already had that too.
No.
But if you want to think that, that's good. We probably might be, but
Well, I think
I
it's
wish
time to
we
wrap
could copy
this shit.
some of their passing game.
No, I like
the
because
receivers.
the Alabama fans were so mad that Georgia's going to be able to show off their light show against Notre Dame, and they had bought their lights, and they felt that when Georgia bought its lights, they were doing it because Alabama had done it. But I spoke to Josh Brooks. Georgia
So
had these
petty.
lights months before Alabama even mentioned theirs.
So petty.
Who the hell cares? Everyone's going to have it. It's like, hey, we
Clemson's installing
we
them
have
now.
a jumbo screen. Do you get to copyright that? No one else gets to do it. It's just BS. Anyway, so
Great note to end the show on.
yeah, we know the show on Alabama fans bitching and moaning. So
You can catch
One
you guys
thing about it, we
Tuesday.
appreciate everybody watching, listening. It's really a backing of Georgia football, and hopefully we can have some bigger wins than we had today. But this was just a real gut check for us, and I thought
and they pull through.
they really handled it well. And terrible conditions. I didn't even want to walk out and help you carry the food in.
And he didn't. So and with that note, we're going to take off. Tune in to Tuesday at if you're on our YouTube page, we'll let you know that we're doing our live podcast. We'll do that Tuesday at noon. Watch then, and then in 2 weeks,
Facebook and YouTube. Right?
Facebook and YouTube, and then in 2 weeks, Dayne, Brent Rollins, and Coach Donnan will have the watch along show. I will be in Florida. I'll be sending them notes from the field to let you know what's going on. Be sure to tune in, and thank you so much for watching. Please share it with your friends, and we'll talk to you in 2 weeks.
And that show will be about 3:25 is when we'll start. 3:30 kick from Jacksonville. Thanks, everybody.
Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.